This is A+ material.
Everything's working out. Usually is very exciting at the beginning here. There we are. We're live now on the
Started after Aries' retirement announcement?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm leaving. I made an incredible pun, and it doesn't get better. So.
But I can tell you what the pun was. We could just leave that as a mystery.
Okay, our classic show.
I'm not gonna share it because then they'll think like now we're like, oh yeah, it must be really good.
They know you, then they know.
Yeah, could it possibly live up to the hype? Yeah.
They know it's bad. Ugh, look, I can't. My mind just. Yeah. I think sometimes I've made Grimace eye roll so hard. I'm like, oh no, is he? Don't leave.
He will. One day.
Well, hopefully when we're done with the campaign. Then,
Gotta get it back then.
I was saying, like, he can, once we're done, it's... No, I still want to play Vermintide with him. It's very fun. Now, we do hate a lot on Carillion, so I'm like, oh no, if we invite you on...
It'll be just like when I DM.
Yeah, us with you, yeah. Yeah, like he was very upset. There apparently used to be a setting where you could like assign your team, so you could be like, yes, I want the fire mage and not her, Carillion, and you can't do that anymore apparently.
Why not?
I don't know. It's maybe he couldn't find out. He was like, what in the world? Also, I see a big red cross. Great.
Yeah.
Where?
It's not loading the map thing.
Oh, I'm not sure if I can do anything about that.
No. I'll see if I can do anything about that.
Yes, I remember having that while we were doing the dungeon crawl in Sidon's Tower. That was fun.
Like, yes. Like, where are you going? And like, yeah. I mean, it's
it's a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it. Oh my god! I had it when we were in the lair of the god killer Kraken. I couldn't see anything, and I remember Manakai would like screenshot me the map. Send the pictures like this is what it looks like, and I could thank God I couldn't see anything, and it was such a dangerous situation too.
Nowadays you could look at the stream, right?
Yeah, well, I think I tried, but my internet was
that doesn't help.
Speaking of that encounter, I got into 3D printing recently, so I could make minis because I can't afford to just buy them. I could afford a printer, so yeah. And I printed my first dragon, and it worked the second time, but the first time it failed. But everything to do with the body came out correctly. It was the wings that got fucked up, including one that just sort of looks like it was torn, and the other one has a split running vertically through it, and it just looks like wings that are ripped off. And I looked at that, and I'm like, oh, that's still usable. It's just I forget the dragon's name now, but it was like, yeah, it's that dragon that we fought in the Kraken thing. Hezebel, thank you.
Wasn't in the Kraken thing though. That was in the Never See. Well, it was in the Kraken.
It's
Kraken box.
Yeah,
not in the lair.
Is that like a thing? Is it like a data thing? Am I like overdue some kind of clean of map tool or something? I don't know. I remember a fix one time being some numbers, and I was like, I don't fucking. I did what I was told. That is.
If you want to clear the cache, then look down in the map tools window at the bottom. There is something that looks like a safe. It probably has like some number next to it. If you double click that, you would clear it. And there's a pin. If you double click that, you'll clear that. Basically, you can double click whatever down there and clear it.
Ah, all
Clear a
right.
bunch of that, then try to switch between two maps or something. Should re-download whatever. But try that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know any of this thing, so do I have to be? I probably have to be in a.
I don't think so. You should be able to just do it on like the grasslands.
Oh, nothing is happening when I click.
Just double click it, then it should.
Yeah, no, nothing.
No, I mean it's very quick.
No, but like there's it's all the data is the same. I'm gonna restart it again and see if it's done it.
Sure.
I just tried that and it worked for me even while inside Sheep's campaign file.
Yeah, it's working now. I don't know.
Stores little versions of all the different pictures and stuff.
Let's see here.
Load them
All right,
quickly.
that's good to know. I'll try and remember that.
Also,
As
why
I'll
it shows how
just-
much free space in your home hard drive you have. It can know how much it can use for random picture files.
Come on, you can do it.
Imagine how many campaigns you'd have to load for you to fill up a hard drive just map tools can.
I mean, that's like a goal, right? Fill up your
You'll
hard
never
drive
clean
with
it.
all the campaigns you've been in. Like, hell yeah.
When I record them, it certainly is possible.
Yeah.
It saves a lot of space.
Anything with video is yeah.
You could podcast it, but I think with the beautiful maps and such, it's just, well, why not?
Yeah, that's. I feel like that works better also. Like when people like only do sound, it's because they don't really work with maps. They're like, oh, you're about 20 feet away, and then you say what you want to do, right? Whereas like when you actually use maps and like measure it out, like combat is not great then if you're like not seeing it. But then again, I will listen to D&D stuff all the time, even though there's a video. I'm not watching the video, I'm doing something else. So
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty common.
right, yeah.
Hmm.
Now, recap.
If we're ready.
Yes.
Are we ready?
I, for one, am ready.
Cool.
Who wants to take lead?
I don't remember.
Since
No,
it wants to, it's a
the
big
question
thing.
here is what happened. What was the beginning of the session? Right, we had done the whole thing with the centaurs, right?
Oh,
and
we
freeze
met.
the-
Yeah.
We got out, right?
Yep, start there.
And we met with the druid, the phoenix lady,
Yeah.
and we had like a heart to heart. And we realized she was like, "Yeah, all these people really mad at you. Like, they gave their kids there, or whatever, because they want to be at war with you, and they will go to war with you." And she was talking about how this all felt like the Dragonlords are like using the same name and everything, which just felt like it was like the same thing as it used to be, where they came into Thylea and like took over, right? So basically, see the Dragonlord as someone to strike before they strike them, sort of. And we had like a talk. It was like, yo, that sucks. I agree that we could have approached this differently, and I wish that we had spent more time talking before this happened. Didn't really like. She was gonna try and maybe spread the news, but it's not very promising.
She basically
Because
said that not all the centaurs are reasonable. Some of them are just
yeah,
the worst.
they're
And
really
those
mad.
guys, if you called yourself something else, they would still attack you. If you weren't there and you gave them what they wanted, they would still try to attack you and kill everyone.
Yeah,
Because they want the fight, they want the war.
yeah,
And
they're settled on
yeah,
it.
that's their goal.
An important detail is that she was spying on you while you were traveling through the tower.
Oh yeah.
And knows for a fact that you didn't burn the shit down. Like that was
Yes, that's true.
another force entirely. A force that had discovered her, and she was attacked by some real mean fiends where you intervened and bailed her out. She
Oh
might have been
yeah,
trying.
that's what happened.
Yeah, she might have been trying, she might have not be, but you've definitely assisted her, and she knows you didn't do this. Like, maybe
Right. She
you
doesn't
even
like
talked
us.
to her beforehand. Like, your intentions, at least as far as she seemed concerned, were genuine. So that helps.
I was gonna say, I definitely feel like we. Yes, I was like, wait, why did she listen to us? Yes, this was why. Like we earned some goodwill by saving her, because otherwise, yeah. And then. Oh,
And
sorry.
her words were basically, listen, I'm still not sure about you, but of course she knew that you didn't do this, and someone actively wants this fight, which immediately made her maybe a bit hesitant about it. And the other detail is that she knows what her people are trying to conjure in order to match your incredible strength, and she apparently thinks that is terrible. Like,
Oh,
terrible.
that's right. They want to open the other cubes. The other prison things, right?
As far as she is aware, that might be part of the plan. The centaurs themselves had some sort of prophecy that they think you are causing. And while she doesn't know the details, because she wasn't really involved in the whole, divination thing, she's a druid. It's not really what she does. From what she knows, it's a terrible tragedy that they're saying, and they believe they can stop it if they just stop you with whatever means possible.
The real
The prophecy that, as far as she vaguely recounted,
Something with
sounds, yeah, ash and sky, fire. It sounds somewhat similar as what both Valus and Versi have told you that your actual prophecy might end at. The actual end that Versi has always been trying to prevent.
Well, it seems to me that we are in a Greek tragedy situation where us rising up was something we had to do to save the world from a tragedy, and now in response to us saving the world from tragedy, these guys are going to panic and unleash the very tragedy that they are trying to prevent from happening. Right, whatever they summon is going to be some horrible world-ending monster.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
It's going to tear everything apart, and they will weep and cry. Why did we do this? But it'll be too late. That's a problem, because we can't stop them. At least not at the moment. There's probably tons of them, which means we need to be ready to deal with whatever world-ending monster they summon.
And that led us to the whole. We have the ambrosia. If you want to try and reclaim the god powers, whether we want to use them or not, we need the other things. Hence the Lost City of Sirens, where one of these things might be, and Ariette having one of the weapons that can lead us there.
Exactly. That was about where we ended last session. Yeah. Tanara basically said, yeah, of course she'll try to prevent this war because it's clear that her people are going to extreme to oppose your quite frankly terrifying power with their own terrifying power, and that's just gonna end badly for everyone.
Right.
But she doesn't think she'll be successful. Someone actively wants that, and she doesn't know what this is all about. But obviously, I'm not sure if she put it into words. But while conflict is in the nature of centaurs, it's heavily colored by honorable conflict. Fighting for respect and domination is perfectly fine. But this seems a war to that's not going to leave any victors. Everyone's going to lose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Except for Hades, who I conveyed that to her that Oh yeah, no, there's this guy who rules the underworld, and he wants souls of the dead, and he said that he's going to, well, threatened basically that he's going to cause a war that's going to kill everyone unless we become his lackeys, so that he gets all the souls because everyone will die.
More specifically, unless he gets Kira back. That was his condition.
I don't remember that.
Actually, sorry. Let me correct myself because devils are involved, so semantics are important. He said he specifically said he might go easier on you if you return Kira, but he's gonna do this because you pissed him off.
Yeah, whatever.
He was probably going to do it anyway.
Might is not a strong.
There's no way that wedding wasn't some ritual thing anyway, so whatever. Yeah. Oh, that's right. She does know because we talked about it for like the entire rest of the session, and then gave her a complete unedited copy of
you gave her the book.
the Odyssey of the Dragonlords.
Yeah, that is an important detail for sure. You can assume that given some time for her to read that thing, she knows everything you've done. Mm-hmm. Of course, whether she believes all of it is a different question, but she doesn't have any reason not.
Yeah, that's right. She questioned it, and then it was like, with all due respect, ask around.
I was gonna say, listen, look at all the versy drama in this book and tell me someone would write that for fun.
I'm sure there's...
Like, this is,
juicy subplot, though.
I'm sure there's something embarrassing about Demos in there that's going to verify it, because, that would never come out. Mm-hmm. People are not going to believe that part anyway.
The time that he was very briefly a drunken layabout.
You didn't write
about that. Makes him relatable.
Yeah,
he is like one of us.
Darius wouldn't have included that. He knows that, there's some things that stay between people. Right?
Yeah, and that was in the public version, but she's got the private version.
Definitely.
It's gonna be like some sort of conspiracy thing in like 100
years. Dear diary.
Know that the great heroes were actually just people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. Well.
Yeah. Just to help you a bit here. You are aware that, according to Narcissus, the Sunken Kingdom of the Siren contains one of the divine artifacts, which are horrible, terrible, powerful weapons in their own right, but might also be used to do some sort of ascension ritual to get a whole chunk of other power. Which, quite frankly, at least as Tanara is concerned, you need, because you're already beyond people, but maybe not quite to the point where you could stop whatever is happening from happening. According to Narcissus, it's in the Sunken Kingdom of the Sirens. To get there, you basically have a map. The reflection of Ariad's weapon, her heritage, seems to show the sky above where the City of the Sirens used to be, which, combined with something that uses the stars to navigate, could very well lead you there. Of course, you also have that. Some preparations will have to be made before you can set off on your journey there, which is to combine the anti-Kira device and the weapon, which will need someone who actually knows something about it. You've got two options that I'm just going to tell you. One, of course, is Vulcan, who's currently in basically self-imposed exile on the Heart Island. The other would be Aegis, who's currently probably in the Library of Mitros, just hanging about, researching all manner of things that Darius is the name, has basically told him to do. Those two people would definitely work. There might be others, but I'm not going to tell you because you don't know about them. There are some other considerations that you will inevitably face. It's the Sunken Kingdom of the Sirens, which suggests certain complications. Specifically, a lot of water. Potions and such would be plausible to acquire without really any significant cost for you, but it's not like potions are wildly available. They really are not. They're not a common good at all. So like potions of water breathing, the Academy of Mithrils could produce those. It would take a not really significant amount of time. It would take some resources, and they wouldn't be able to produce like tons of them. A few, sure, but no infinite quantity. The other alternative would be to get someone who can cast the actual spell, which I don't believe any of you actually have access to. But of course, you know, people, magic is, unlike potions, very common. And there might be druids or wizards who have that spell, which could be acquired from whatever source you think you want to pursue. The other challenge, actually having a vessel to get there. Flying, of course, is an option, except unless all of your dragons can also enter, you know, water and stuff, you might actually want to have a ship. In fact, since this isn't one of the usual locations of the Antikythera, I'm just going to put that out there. It's not impossible that the trip takes longer than the standard 3 days, which would mean exhaustion to the point of possible death if you flew without a place to rest. Luckily, however, you have a what's the word? I guess a trio of freshly produced warships in the city of Mitros. The elves that you have recruited on the island of the pirates have led to results that I don't believe I've described yet, but they are capable of traversing the Forgotten Sea. Not as capable as the Ultros was. They can't do so indefinitely. The angry waters will certainly smash at them and erode them over time, but they can manage. Where most other ships could not. So the main challenge would be to figure out who you want to get on board with helping with the Antikythera, and where you want to see to acquire the possibility of actually, you know, doing underwater adventures.
So, Deimos is fine, first and foremost. Got that's the diving plate. But more importantly, didn't we at one point we met like mer people, and they were very friendly. A chance we
That's
could
true.
seek
You did
them
meet
out.
us.
They had like corals that could let us breathe water for a while.
The challenge, or rather the problem there, is that you met them basically randomly on your travels. They live there, they exist, they haven't moved. But technically they did move because the entire ocean keeps moving, and there's no convenient way to easily find them.
There's no one we could think of that would like be someone who has regular contact.
Scrying on them and teleporting to wherever we see.
Teleporting to locations in the Forgotten Sea does not work.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Since it all moves about.
There's no one who has regular contact.
You could give me... What would be an appropriate check? I guess nature, to see how would you track down one of the more rare races, native races to Phylea.
There you go, nat 20.
And nat 20 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, it would be difficult to track down the merfolk themselves, but there are water nymphs, specifically ocean nymphs, that tend to inhabit the coasts of Phylea, who might know. They travel about under the ocean. Of course, tracking them down would be difficult. Except this is sort of exactly what I believe Aria does a lot, traveling to the various tribes and whatnot.
Yes.
I would say that she just knows where you could find some that would be open to talking. The alternative would be to travel to the Old Woods, where the druids tend to congregate. They're certainly not just nymphs there, but specifically all manner of nymphs, really, who could be asked about that sort of thing. But that has the challenge that you need someone who's sort of in that group, which, as it turns out, Darius has the reputation that he could get a meeting with people who might be able to help you. So those would be the two options to find a lead to set merfolk.
It's just a possibility. I don't know if you guys want to pursue it, but They were cool when we met them.
Yeah. Yeah, seems like we really have a lot of options here.
Mostly just logistics problems. I believe
It seems
probably
like
the
to be a
best-
problem with most of the options.
I believe that probably the most efficient use of my time would be to take the Antikythera and see if I can get Aegis to work it. If you want to try and what do you want to do? This is obviously we all care and we're here for you, but this is your quest.
I'm good to try and talk with some tribes around. Arid has sort of tried to make sort of resting upon like the winged messenger order, like reestablishing that, but also trying to reach out to different tribes of monstrous races. So I think she would like to do that at least. Now you would need my sword, right?
That's true. Yes.
She would I know like is like it doesn't have to be wielded by me to be able to have this like effect, right?
I don't believe you've ever really tested what happens if you give it to someone else.
I don't think they saw the reflection. Maybe. Well, I guess Ariad
Let's
will,
try.
try and hand it to Darius. He's like, all right, well, you're gonna probably need this.
All right.
Yeah, as you hand it over, the sword does visibly change to a bit of a dull. Like Darius even gets a bit of a feeling that the sword doesn't like him.
Well, scratch that. You're you're definitely gonna have to be the one to go see. Just, I suppose I could go try to the old wood.
Oh. Yeah, she like it's like the thing where like you take it and you, like give it back and it like glows up again. She's like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know much of Aegis, but I'm sure we can figure something out. If
We
we
could also
need
just
any,
do these sequentially instead of trying to do them all at the same time.
yeah, well, we can start on the different things. But if I run into something that needs wizardy shit, I can't help with that. Then I'm gonna wait for you.
Fair
'Cause,
enough.
I just like, oh, you can now cast this spell. Well, no, I cannot. No spell casting that is outside what I can choose. Yeah.
I mean, 2 Mitros, right?
Yes, 2 Mitros. I have already healed my hit points, so I decided that we had a rest.
You guys can go and deal with this. Doesn't seem like Demos can do much. I mean, architecturing with a sword and then Antikythera. He has had that damn thing for a long time, but yeah.
I feel like there might also be
be king for a bit.
a play of like if we run out of like options for like, oh hey, how do we breathe underwater? Surely Valis. You might go to some magic shit study thing. Valis, come here.
Yeah, possible.
You can cast Revivify. Surely you can.
I feel like Valis is Team Mom, and I feel like I don't want to rely too much. I mean, we have to move out.
Yeah,
at some
you're
point,
right.
You can
It's
choose,
true.
yeah.
Like we moved out, now we have to not. Like we can't come around and ask her to dry our clothes. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, like
Do you only come here to do your laundry?
It's already handling like some parts of the bureaucracy because she enjoys
Yeah.
things really.
Isn't she doing like a solid half of it on her own?
It's to help Demos, but at this point he can figure it out by himself. But she seems to really enjoy it, and so he doesn't take that away from her. Like, please help me, but he probably could do it by himself, right? It just It makes her happy.
Yeah, of course he could.
She was to retire, and yet she showed up immediately in a disguise because she just missed the paperwork. So, all good. She is very good at it. Useful.
All right. What do you want to tackle first?
Well,
Demos being
Aegis
King
is
Corbett is
close.
certainly also something to address because there are things for him too.
I do want to check in with him regardless and tell him what we found out about the boat, about his airship.
Sure, we can go have a meeting with Aegis. I'm okay with that.
I'll go be Stola King for a while.
All right. Check in into the Library of Metros. Didn't I have a map for this? No, I didn't.
No,
an
because
implementation
the stupid. See, the thing is, the real plot thing here is like, she was like, "Oh shit, I don't have a map for the library." The Kraken comes and destroys it.
Yes,
Boom.
that'll.
How to
Done.
breathe a sigh of relief that there's no combat. Oh shit, I didn't have a map for this.
Well, the thing is that the Kraken didn't destroy the entire library. He basically destroyed
Yeah.
exactly one series of shelves.
Yeah. And they didn't have like
but where
an
his
index to at
tentacles
least like
came
what those
in.
were.
The one with documents about ancient horrors, imprisoned beasts, and how to re-imprison them.
Oh, it's like the lexicon, like the book of all monstrous things, letter K, and it was like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
KR.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. And so, some previous king of Mitros was like, we should make sure to have all this information if in the future it is needed. And some other king was like, what is this? Just put it on the shelf somewhere. No one's ever going to need this. And
someone else was like, let's also keep the index cards and the backup copies really close.
Yeah, we use them as a bookmark in the book.
So, it certainly showed a disregard for old books. And I think nowadays we probably have looked into ways to make sure that it doesn't happen again with other books that seem like they're old and might have clues to some ancient horror that, that we just don't appreciate yet.
Yeah, we might want to look into those again to see what the centaurs might be trying to conjure.
We look in, there's like ancient book of centaur diplomacy, how to defuse any situation. No one ever read it. Anyway.
That's just blank.
All right. As you enter the library, you can basically go to like the series of back rooms that apparently Aegis and Mikkel have sort of commissioned, really. Walking through there, you can certainly see that the occasional like library attendant and philosopher, whenever they sort of see them, they throw like frowns towards them as they are certainly leaving the library in a bit of a state. Entering their room, you can see basically a series of tables sort of pushed together to make one mega table, which is completely covered with open books and like maps and map pieces, sort of taped together. Well, tape doesn't exist. Put together in this weird thing. It's basically a horizontal like corkboard with strings everywhere. It looks absolutely mad.
Is it like the detective's murder board, but of like
sort of
mystical lore?
Not exactly mystical lore. It seems to be very focused on geography. It's like a huge map of Phylea and the surrounding some of the islands that were arranged in some sort of pattern, at least. Of course, the islands can't be arranged in any patterns because they keep moving. Mm-hmm. But clearly, the goal here is to find out like how do they move. Both of them don't even like notice you entering, despite the dragons presumably following you. They're in a heated discussion that you can barely understand. Like the language the two of them speak is, of course, usually understandable, but not if they speak quickly. Like the accent is just completely drowning out any meaning of the words. It seems to be a heated discussion, at least, with Mikael, but mostly looking at Aegis with like a raised eyebrow, going like, of course, yes, that probably not, but continue, and Aegis just basically throwing up his arms in the air and obviously looking like he's grasping at straws at this point. I guess if you like stop in the door, they'll eventually notice you.
I'm just listening to this heated Australian debate for a little bit.
I was gonna say, I think Arya just is like a little behind, just looking like a little weirdly. Like she's never been to this part. She hasn't really talked with these people other than when we were, at the on the boat, before everything went down. So I think she's just looking there, maybe a little wide-eyed at all the like weird murderboard stuff. She comes from an oral culture of knowledge where you tell people the knowledge and like through stories and songs, and like this is very yeah. Are they always like this?
Well, normally it's a little more legible, but this just means that they're invested. Just leaning up against the door frame, watching them talking to Ariad.
It's like Ariad like looks at him like in a way, and she's like, honestly, this would seem to me quite like your kind of crowd, Darius.
I did put them together. It looks like that map actually might be. He sort of peeks over a little bit. It's like, is that the place that we were told about? Where everything ends up? If they came there on their own, that's quite impressive. I put this together back when I thought that there was a way to stop the deities from reclaiming their divine spark. It's sort of a. I'm trying to think. A player. I'm trying to think of a different word other than task force.
Right. A
whatever
group?
the equivalent is. Yeah, the study group.
Forum.
The research, forum.
A research group, yes.
Yeah.
Research
It really doesn't
facility.
look like they're going to stop anytime soon. We should probably.
Yeah. Like he just pauses in the middle of a sentence. He doesn't turn around and say this. Oh yeah, we'll clean up. It's all right. We're not gonna leave this a mess again. It's fine. We're in an important discussion. And then he turns around.
Interrupting.
And he's like, oh. Well,
No, please don't clean it up on my accounts. You're doing very important work here.
well, quite frankly, I wouldn't have, because this is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Are you? I should explain. I'm not mad. I know I'm correct, but you see, I talked about this earlier with you. Like, I thought there was. How do I put this politely? I thought I found some kind of center. There's various accounts, Phylea in the center, islands floating about outside, but that's not true at all. I thought there was a different center where everything eventually ends up if it doesn't hit an island, where our ship might have ended up. But I think I'm wrong.
Oh?
There is a point where it seems like it's fixed. I thought it was like the center, of course, but it's not. It's like someone put a pin into some divine map and fixed that exact point, but it's not the center. It's just a random point that for some reason doesn't move.
Interesting.
It's not interesting because it's awful. It means I don't exactly know how to find it. It might still have the property of basically being like a drain, But now I no longer know why. I thought I had an idea about these things, but it's nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't be too hard on yourself. You are tasked with a pretty unreasonable request, especially if it's of a divine nature. But every little bit is a step in the right direction. I have heard similar things from a fairly reliable source recently that would indicate I think you are correct. I think you're onto something. So,
He raise an eyebrow. All right. I don't suppose you can get me in contact with that source so we can collaborate.
Not unless you want to speak to Hades himself.
Well, quite frankly, at this point, I'm running out of other sources. So yeah, arrange a meeting. Why don't you?
Well, he's not exactly my biggest fan. See, he's looking for something in the exact same spot and believes that it is possible for us to get there. In fact, he is incapable of getting there himself. So that would be perhaps some sort of hint that it's actually inaccessible by the divine somehow. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I have the gut feeling that this isn't natural. Of course, the word natural doesn't seem to mean anything in these lands, but
no.
I mean, call it deliberate.
Is there? Never mind. This is not what we came here to discuss today. I need to pull your resources. Unfortunately, maybe consider it a little bit of a break from this job. You all know Ariad, of course. I gesture and sort of let Ariad speak to her task.
He just waves across the massive collection of tables.
Yes. We are. Well, we are looking for another place that is lost, the lost city of the Sirens, and have found that we can make some kind of navigation tool with the anti-Kira and this weapon of the Sirens. I was originally gonna have you and Darius hash it out, but it seems that it needs to be connected to. Well, I have no other sirens here to test it, so far, me. And thus, I will be in your care. If you would, we could try and figure a solution out. I am not sure how to go about combining it. She looks to Darius not really a laboratory person.
Yeah, he just steps a bit closer to me in more polite speaking distance. While Mikhail stays in the back. He sort of permanently has his arm crossed, just frowning at Aegis, basically. Doesn't talk much. As Aegis comes closer and says, "You know what? It's quite funny that actually. I don't know if I told. I think I did. Our original expedition. At this point, I do believe our eventual goal was going to be that sunken city as well.
Oh.
Of course, we had no idea where the heck we would search for it, but we knew it was. How do I put this? Very valuable, and we were after money. But motives aside, that was actually the reason why we traveled to Valia. Build the whole airship thing. Our boss was very, very motivated. And I always found it odd, how does he know that something valuable is, so far away, really? Of course, distance doesn't matter in this place at all. It's honestly pretty weird, and I'm not quite used to it yet. Anyways, anecdotal. Like, we wouldn't have found it, obviously. Our plan was to come here and maybe make contact with the locals, buy supplies, do like a good old grid search. I mean, it's a supposedly a fuck off large city, no offense. So that there would have been some sort of sign where we found. Eventually, of course, now I know we would have found. Now you are handing me something that you believe will lead me there, and quite frankly, I'm excited about that.
All
As he
right.
sort of,
I need you to understand that we are not going there to raid the place, however.
No, of course. I mean, my perspective has changed over time, of course, and all of y'all did save my life. So I'll help you out. I'm happy not benefiting from this at all, but maybe if you brought me some sort of just something to remember the city by once you get there, to something so I can say, hey, I was successful.
Yeah, of course.
He smiles at that. And yeah,
it's funny. Like he's thinking some kind of gold thing or whatever. Like in Ariad, she's like, yeah, she'll find some, statue or some broken statue or something. Give us a rubble.
a genuine Siren City rock.
Yeah,
But yeah, he can help you out. He has a decent grasp about things as it stands, and combining the two shouldn't really take that long. As long as the sword actually shows this reflection of stars, he can probably figure out how to tune the anti-carrier. It's gonna take a little bit, call it a week, maybe two, but he can't.
It's like at this time, what it needs to be is just like be in my possession. So Ariad is just like
in the lab for a week,
observing there. Just like, all right. I think she would take an interest. Like, okay, what are you? At one point, and then like realize that maybe she's annoying this person and keeping them from actually doing the work.
Ariad will find out that annoying Aegis is impossible.
Oh, great. Is he able to talk about things not related to whatever he's working on at the same time?
Absolutely. He'll talk about any topic, even while doing something completely unrelated.
Great. She'll, yeah, all right. Well, just imagine Arya pumping him for random information about his world and, how he feels about it, how he feels about the current political situations here, just everything.
All right.
Because she's kind of weak, right? Like, yeah.
He has a very, very bright perspective on really any topic. Like the current political situation, he sort of brushes aside to the point of pointing out how amazing Philea has been to him. Like the land compared to where he's from is so much more vibrant and inhabited and nice, and the people are so nice here, except that one library attendant that keeps telling him to clean up, even though this is very important. He doesn't like that person very much. It was even worse when oh god, what was Heldemir's dragon called?
Aravander?
I should know these things. Yeah, when Aravander was part of this study group, because he is very large and knocks over a few things, but that's besides the point. That's what the library is for.
All right. Well, Ariad will keep her wings folded in, not be in trouble. But yeah, she'll just talk, because he is an alien. Like literally speaking, and much as he seeks information about the different tribes of different natives and such, he's also interested in other cultures and well,
what he ends up describing is a society that is far less magical. There does appear to be like magic, specifically like the arcane, the wizardly magic mostly. But it's more of a steampunk direction, basically.
Right. Yeah, I imagine that Arya cannot. Well, okay. I was gonna say she can't imagine that, but she's seen like the what is it, the little machine birds and stuff. So I suppose there's some machinery. That's what she imagines, just bigger.
There's definitely overlap. He explains, although those are powered by innate magic as well. Although he doesn't understand what kind. He's sure it's magic because otherwise he would understand it immediately. But he'll go so far as to explain the intricate details of how steam power works and how engines work. Like usually when you keep asking like how does that work, and then you keep going down that route of how asking every single little detail works, someone might get annoyed. He gets excited. Like he will tell you what water is in detail if you don't know what that is. Like he will start at the very bottom.
Incredible. Yes, she definitely will. Yeah, and if Darius comes at one point and like looks in, she'll be like very comfortable in this kind of talk and listening a lot and like asking questions and stuff. Yeah.
I think Darius will hang around. He's kind of curious about the work that they've done so far. They clearly haven't found a way there. He's curious if there's a way, if in theory, they've at least cracked how to get back. Because that's something that I'm curious about. That could maybe help with this.
How to get back from there? Well, they don't see any reason why, if you have a ship, you can't just leave the place. It's just that all the debris and shipwrecks end up there at some point, but there's nothing stopping you from leaving directly, unless you don't have a ship.
Interesting.
Of course, he doesn't know if there's like magical effects at play, like barriers and walls. He doesn't know, but as far as he can tell, it's just stuff ends up there, and that stuff is usually trash, so it stays there.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to assume so, otherwise Archirania, there's no reason why she couldn't just fly out. Unless it's just simply too far away.
I mean, navigating is an issue. If you don't have something like the anti-Gara device, you're just gonna fly into the ocean. And never reach anywhere.
Yeah, that is true, isn't it? Okay. Noted.
All right. Then for kingly affairs. There was one thing that I've already mentioned is that 3 new warships have been completed. Which Demos could go inspect, otherwise one of the elves will come meet him in the throne room.
We'll go inspect it. He's excited about them. He needs to figure out how to reward these elves so they might stay. What can he get him? Yeah. We can have Demos. Docks, I suppose.
Yeah, they would be at the very south here, at the large docks. But what he will see going there with Xerxia and probably like a small entourage of guards who will not leave even though he might tell them to. But such is king life. Is indeed 3 very large ships that at first glance don't really look that different from the old Metrosian warships. In fact, they might even be a tiny bit smaller, less wide, maybe a bit longer, who knows. But the striking difference is visible once you get close. The hull of these ships appears to be not made out of like a bunch of deformed planks bolted together like you usually build a ship, but rather 3 enormous pieces of like curved wood that doesn't seem to be bolted together, but just sort of folded into one another into a very smooth, slick, and well, very, what's the word? I don't want to say beautiful, but it's like those 3 pieces have grown in that shape. They weren't chiseled or squeezed into the shape. They just came like that from the trees, making up most of the ship's, well, really important bit. They're the one that will fight the waters and have to deal with cannon shells being fired at it in a battle, and those seem sturdy indeed. The top of the ship, however, seems very Matrosian. You've got the 2 sails, you've got the ballista at the side, the Matrosian colors. They, at least to Deimos' mind, would look fairly impressive.
Have the men tried them?
It does not appear that they've really left the dock too much yet. They are floating in the harbor, but as far as Deimos knows, they haven't been properly tested yet.
All right. Well, he will compliment them to the elves who made them. They've managed to blend our designs, which allow our skilled sailors to use them with their own incredible skill at shaping and growing these ships.
Yeah, around the dockyard here, Deimos doesn't actually see many of the elves. Not that many came in the first place. It was like a dozen, maybe 2, who followed you to Mitros and really did all the work here. He does spot one, who in turn, well, has spotted Deimos and is slowly, with a very, very casual, like, a gait approaching him. He has like this eternal frown that Deimos would be used to by the elves since ever, really. They don't ever seem to approve of anything in their vicinity. They sort of come close and stop nearby, looking towards the ships. As he says without really making eye contact, "That would be part of our deal with you, Dunn. I appreciate the decision to embrace our methods to protect your woods. Of course, we've never quite talked about our price, have we? We've talked about our conditions, but if you expect future work, it is worth noting that even these ships have cost you something."
Please, inform me.
While the details of our work are secret, of course, the important ingredient to making these constructions work is certain cooperation. The wood of your old ship, the Ultros, I believe it was called, was forced into its shape. And I'm not talking about the deforming of wood you use to build your other crude ships. I mean, in the Ultros' case, it was imbued wood, forcefully imbued, cut, splintered, and then put back together, violently. A dryad soul was embedded in its mast. It gave it its strength. He sort of pauses for a second.
He must just shakes his head. Like, yeah, someone might doubt that, but he's heard enough about the old Dragonlords. That sounds perfectly into what they would do.
I believe your people didn't know what they were doing, if it's any consolation. These ships, however, Dryad's magic is involved as well, but not its soul, but rather its essence, given freely. Our condition was not just some fancy of ours, but a requirement for such a deal to be made in the first place. It is also the continuing cost of your ships. The Dryad's essence that makes the wood strong, malleable, flexible, far more than any ship could ever be, can be taken away. Not by us, but the Dryads who gave it. I would suggest you treat the forests around Mitros very carefully in the future, for if you were to upset them, these ships would... They would not sink, they would function still, but their hull would become brittle. It would have to once again be forced together with metal and bolts. Quite frankly, that would be worse than whatever you could produce at that point. As long as you please the Dryads, and I'm assure you they will not ask for outrageous things, these ships will be faster, sturdier than anything you could ever hope to produce.
And if someone else harms the Dryads?
They would not take offense to you if you had nothing to do with it. If they were to die, their essence would remain, perhaps even part of their soul would enter your vessels, and as long as they voluntarily continue to provide their power, your ships would not take any damage. It is only in the case where they decide to retract their support.
How might I... Demas doesn't really know about Dryads, right? They're like people who live in the trees to him. How might I... Of course, not using the wood of these forests for any industry or taking it. What else could I do to make the Dryads, to thank them for their work?
The Dryads are creatures of the land. They might individually have desires, ambitions perhaps, but they are immortal creatures, and so time means little to them. Maybe they'll ask something at some point, but that might be years, decades, and likely a reasonable request. You do not need to actively please them. You can even continue using the woods for your wood needs, however. You must do so respectfully. You must grow new trees where you fell them. You must make sure that none of the trees you do harm are the domain of anything that belongs to the land. The safest way would be to throw trees with the specific intent of harvesting them later, rather than taking the trees the woods offer.
That seems ideal, though it would take a while for that to be. Yeah, Demas will see to it
get
that
some
plantations are
druid
beginning to be
magic.
grown. You know, we got plains aplenty. Space is not the problem right now. The land is fertile. Let's grow some trees. You know, if nothing else, following future generations will have them. The reason he doesn't have them is because the past generations didn't do it. Well, let's not repeat their mistake. It's also cheap to grow trees. I mean, you sort of plant them and they sort of do the rest themselves.
I was gonna say, I mean, a bit of magic might also, I don't know,
Yeah.
surely.
Demas has tried very much in his reign to please the druids of the Great Wood. They're his immediate neighbors, and there were some
why not,
initial
right?
problems, but I think he has smoothed that out as well as he could. Especially now that we know they were caused by Eresia. Yeah, no, he will. Not his head to the elves. When you said you wanted a price, I suppose I thought that would be something that I would not simply give. Regardless. Is there anything else I can give you beyond the promise that I will treat these Dryads with the respect they deserve?
Pauses for a little while. Well, if you ask so. We did not by coincidence live on an island that is known for being inhabited by pirates. We value the valuable. We will not ask for it, but...
Alright, yeah, Demas nods. The elves want gold. Maybe they find themselves a little indignified asking for money, but he's king of Mitros, and if there, this is the city of commerce, trade. I don't know that there's a richer place on Thynia. We surely have, and if not even just pure gold, things you can buy with gold should be pretty valuable. I mean, what is gold beyond what you can purchase with it? I hope you intend to stay here for a time. I would see you richly rewarded beyond our initial, or any work done beyond our initial agreement.
I will not. I'm not a worker. But my son has expressed interest of potentially staying.
Make sure he is treated with respect next to only myself, perhaps.
I will know if you don't.
Good news. Also, I'm sure Demos knows the appropriate value of what you would reward, like a great ship maker. The elf will be paid well for his, both in material and in. We need to take it out of the stash. We have plenty.
Mm-hmm.
An appropriate value would be something I have to look up if you do want to pay them out of your own stash, basically. This would certainly be an expense I would let the city of Mitros pay.
No. It was, this is. He wanted to show personal gratitude because. And if this guy's son wants to stay, that guy is gonna be having a good time, because the ability to grow these ships, to work out these deals with dryads and have their essences planted into them, so that we can have like Fey warships, is marvelous. And Demos needs as many as we can make, both for potential evacuation, perhaps to fight off a kraken, to sail the Nether Sea, to maybe one day evacuate people off this continent. Who knows? More boats is good. We used to have so damn many, now we have so damn few. And though these are great boats, they're better than our old warships if they're almost Ultros level. But we need more. And yeah, we were getting a fleet from the elves, but we can always have a fleet and a bit. I mean, so you said before that 20,000 was the cost of like a major development project.
Yeah.
So
that would be a good value, I think.
That should pay every single one of those elves quite a bit of money. Looking at like the living costs for a luxury lifestyle, they should be getting pretty well off. Well, yeah, I'll pay them that. I hope no one has a problem with that.
No.
That's
boom. Cash.
Worth noting though that
would be better use for that money.
That Demos, perhaps a few days later, will be informed of what the elves actually did with the money. It appears that most of it was dumped into the sea by them.
Fine. Their money. Yeah, if they want to dump it in the sea, that's fine. They wanted it. They got it. They deserved it. People will let me know that if anyone else,
like a Joker in the gem situation,
if anyone else wishes to build Mitros a fleet of warships without felling a tree, they too can dump as much money in the sea as they wish.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, all right. That's peculiar, but who is he to say?
As long as it's not some offering to some,
To whatever god they worship.
Yeah, it's more about you not having it than.
Yeah, I think so. That's fine.
Than them having it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the sacrifices, right? Like, it's not like Sidon ate them. It was just like, show me that you don't have these things anymore, and.
Yeah, well, show you that our work is worth more than
Beyond that,
money.
if like people become good divers from diving down and finding coins, fine by me.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say it, but I had the same thought.
That's up to
It's like
them.
a good diving industry. Starts.
They don't dump it into like the Matrosian harbor. It's some distance out.
Hera somewhere just gets like a pot of gold washed up to the beach next to her. She's
Yeah, eventually.
Oh. No,
20,000
that's fine.
gold.
These elves are friends of the city, and we've rewarded them. They will be taken care of. And this elven, he's probably older than Deimos still. The elf that wants to stay. Make sure he gets taken back here. That's important. The ability to make these ships. They want to keep it secret. I get that.
Yeah, I will certainly take note of that.
Yeah. Beyond that, though, these Deimos will spend, while the others are making the sword, the way to find the city of the Sirens, and maybe even while they're finding a way to breathe underwater, Deimos will gather the crew to one of these ships, maybe even two of them, and say, well, let's gather these ships together, and let's prepare them to sail the Nether Sea. That'll be a good maiden voyage, and sort of understand how well they work, right? We need people on here to work them and to spend some time.
The Forgotten
to
Sea, though, right?
Yeah,
Not the
yeah.
Never Sea.
You're absolutely right. Forgotten Sea. To learn.
They with nothing, they could, unlike really any normal ship, potentially sail the Never Sea, and by potentially I mean mechanically they could. They would take damage, unlike the Ultras, but on a scale of like days and weeks rather than hours, as a normal ship would.
I mean, I don't plan to go there, but it's good to know, right? They're better. They're good ships.
Well, we might need to.
And
hopefully we'll have the airship by then.
If I tell you that a ship might be able to, chances are that is a plausible future, consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Or not.
In regards to the in regards to the Antikythera device, I don't want to mech up because I know that we're going to the City of Sirens. That's what this session's about. Once it's like embedded in the sword, will it only work for Ariad? Is that a possible thing?
It's not so much a matter of like mechanically combining the two, but rather figuring out how you would tune the Antikythera to follow a constellation of stars that isn't above you, but like in a sword.
Gotcha. So it's just finding the right settings.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought it was like becoming like part of it.
There might have to be like. No, I don't think like actually modifying the Antikythera is necessary. It's just not just using the easy mode of the Antikythera of simply pointing it towards a constellation, but rather the hard mode of actually using all those tiny dials that you maybe didn't even realize existed on it.
Yeah, he's got to like take the hardware apart and actually figure it out. I'm so glad we have scientists on our team.
Right? Yeah.
And that we have the money to just be like, I'm sorry, I know this is stressful, but we'll look after you.
imagine not being king.
Mm-hmm.
Being paupers.
Or, not having the end of the world as a thing to be like, can you work with us for free? Back in the old days.
I mean, these guys are getting, room and board and
cool.
whatnot. I think they're living pretty well. You got rid of a lot of nobles, so.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, in that case, nothing that is impacted by this project. So was going to ask a question, but it's not pertinent.
All right.
So we just need to sort out the water breathing.
Yeah.
That would be an obstacle that is still left, yes. It's the sort of thing where I can't give you like a set of specific options because it's a very wide thing. It's basically finding a spellcaster who's willing to accompany you and also plausibly knows the spell. Finding a scroll of it so Darius could learn it is technically an option. But
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that.
Just the first thought I thought, but
it's not something you could simply buy. Like buying magical
Yeah.
scrolls really isn't a thing. It's also not a spell like that many wizards will really know, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe you really have made contact with any proper wizards except for, a lich, but that's probably not the...
He doesn't need to breathe underwater.
He doesn't need
He
to
don't-
breathe.
yeah.
He does not prepare the spell water breathing, for sure.
Uh,
Well, I don't know. I feel like Darius has a reasonable knowledge of magical resources in the city, at least, given he was designing the spell to make these little coppers back to how they were beforehand.
Right, the dragon transformation. Yeah.
I assume that over the last 2 years or so, he's probably ride on the ones that got away, jump them with teleport, use the spell. It's just been a passive thing. But regardless, there was a lot of time, studying Mitros's magical texts for that purpose. But if it's too hard to acquire, I can also just try to go to the Old Wood. But I'm really trying. I've been leaning on those guys a lot lately. So if we've got to burn a week or so with the other two having projects related to this, then maybe I'll tackle the water breathing in the library.
So you would want to research the spell?
Yeah, if there's any text, I know that it's not a easy thing to do, but I think I would like to try to get a text or a scroll or something that I could then copy down and learn it.
The library is very much about almost that mundane knowledge, but knowledge in general. A magical scroll is not something that's really gonna be available there.
Okay.
Philosophers.
Yeah.
Yeah, philosophers, I mean, some of them might know some arcane, but water breathing is a 3rd level spell, which is
Yeah, that's pretty
beyond
close.
your average scrub wizard.
How else could I go about this?
It's most likely a matter of finding a person who can cast the spell on you.
Mhm.
It could be a druid. I mean,
I know
It could
one
be
Alright.
druid.
probably could, but I don't know how to contact her, and that's a whole other can of worms.
if not,
Yeah.
I can try and talk with some sirens. They probably would not. I'm sure I can find a siren wizard or spellcaster with water breathing who would love to go on an expedition to the lost city of the sirens.
Yeah, probably. I think
That
that's
doesn't
the
seem
way to
like a
go.
big ass. Hey, you guys, we need someone who can cast this spell. Then you can come along and look at this wonder.
Honestly, bring a
lost
handful of
culture.
sirens.
Yeah.
Seems like their thing.
Yeah.
There probably tons of them. Yeah,
We have 3 boats.
that's a good idea.
Room.
All right.
yeah,
Will
Eric-
phone up her friends.
Yeah, Arid would be aware that there's a large gathering of sirens in the city you established on the crossroads.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
they've sort of been slowly congregating to the point where it's like in the high double, like triple digits at this point, which is a congregation of sirens that hasn't happened in hundreds of years at this point.
Yeah, I love the idea that it's like, I mean, obviously it's not, wasn't made to be a siren island, but now it's just the main population. It's just, it's awesome. Yeah.
Traveling there, it's been a little while since you last were there, I believe.
Yeah.
It's a place that is changing quickly. I believe you've invested money into it as well, which is certainly showing. It's at this point I would describe it sort of like Venice, where the actual island it's based on isn't really large enough for the constructions that are happening there. It's like haphazard wooden bridges just on like pontoons floating on the water all over the place. It's
right.
It's a bit of a excuse my language, fuck you to the previous god of waters that would have very much smashed the city immediately. They are just telling the ocean, yeah, well, we rule you now. We'll build our house on you. What are you going to do about it? Although Ariad does say that some of that construction hasn't gone well. There are signs that some of the perhaps more risky, like floating buildings have collapsed completely, been ripped apart and are being reconstructed. So it does seem that the waters of the crossroads aren't always as quiet as you're used to them. Yeah.
That lines up with the whole like the waters being like more stormy and erratic, right? Like, or does it look like,
probably.
oh hey, a giant tentacle messed this shit up, or like?
No, it does seem to be damage caused by the occasional storm. Likely unusual for this part of the Cerulean Gulf. Like, this is not the Forgotten Sea, but sometimes it appears that the anger out there has been splashing into this part of the ocean as well. The rest of the city, it's bigger than a town at this point. It's not only sirens, although they definitely make the majority of it. But also a bunch of just people, a lot of enterprising merchants. You see a lot of like almost cargo vessel like ships docked at the outskirts. It's a convenient spot, between Mitros and Eresia. Like it's for a growing city, this is a very prosperous spot. A lot of traffic.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, we supported it for the same reason. Yeah, she'll go there. She has met some of the sirens before. And she'll. Is there some kind of? Have they made some kind of more official like sort of structure for like holding together representatives of the different like smaller clans, or are they more so starting like a bigger community together?
As far as Ariad gathers, it's like hierarchically speaking, it's a bit of a mess right now. It's not really a democracy where they vote on things, but there aren't really individual representatives either. It appears that not every like siren clan really is into the idea of moving into a big congregation. This seems to be mostly the maybe younger, the more adventurous sorts who are like, we've been living under Sidon's fear for so long. I'm gonna go here just to show him what's up, even though he can't because he's gone.
Right. Yeah.
It's a town of rebel siren, basically.
All right. Yeah.
All the
young
rebels
rebels.
comes with that.
Oh no, middle-aged Ariad. Like, oh no, there's a lot of teenagers here.
Well, teenage for a race that is basically borderline immortal doesn't really mean much.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
They are the younger side, but they're not children.
No. I do imagine that Arya is like between like 200 and 300 years. So like, yeah, someone at 120 is very young. In Siren, like somehow it doesn't count for humans, right? But it's like the same trajectory. You're like, oh boy, that's a long time ago. Yeah, she'll definitely. Yeah, how do you go about it then? There's no leadership structure or anything. I suppose she will announce a meeting, and then like in the evening, or that she would like to speak. And give like a open call concerning an expedition to find the lost city of the Sirens.
Yeah, sure. She can
Yeah.
call a meeting easily. If anything she tells anyone, basically, if she wanted to, spreads like wildfire and
with
reaches
heroes.
everyone relevant. Really. Yeah. I mean, Arya just arriving basically causes a congregation immediately. Like you don't really need to arrange a meeting if everyone immediately comes out to look at you, basically.
Right.
But yeah, if she calls a meeting, that will certainly be respected. The center of the town is like this large, mostly stable platform where the town, the city can congregate. And the request, well, I don't think we'll play this out, does attract a lot of volunteers. The idea is exciting. It's another one of those things that goes straight in the face of Sidon, and any Siren with a soul seems to, at least in the city, seems to be in for that. It's not all of them who volunteer. There are some who, maybe are not confident that they can really contribute or just want to, have their life. But you could get enough to basically crew an entire ship with just Siren. Like there's plenty of them. And among them, you can most definitely find a few sort of shamanistic spellcasters who can support you with exactly what you need.
Yeah. All right. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, she'll definitely emphasize like that. While we do need people to go here and see, this is like a long effort, and there will be plenty of opportunities to help in this endeavor that is not, direct action. We'll find stuff that we need to research and bring back, and like basically, like no one needs to be feeling like this is the last chance or whatever. This is just the beginning, and we want the people to come here to do so responsibly. And then, yeah, I mean, I think she'll stay for a little while just to sort of get a feel for the people, right? And like, I suppose there would be some kind of, I don't know, is there some kind of contract once you're a crew on a ship? I mean, that seems like it would have to be, right? Is it volunteering? Like, like trying to figure that out. Like, they
If you
would
go the
not
same
be
route,
sailors, right? They would just be passengers, or like.
I mean, they would technically be sailors. If you go the official way, the way that Valus went about it with the volunteers for the Ultras, you would have like a contract, you would have pay, you would have everything chiseled in stone, basically. But it doesn't have to be that way. That was just Valus doing Valus things, basically.
No, I think that Arya very much feels like that just because it's a big effort, right? It would be different if he was like, oh, hey, my buddy, you want to go explore some stuff? Yes. This is a lot of young, maybe brash people, but also just a big group. And it could be dangerous. I think that she would definitely want to have some paperwork. And she would definitely basically mostly copy the one from the Ultras, because seems like it is almost exactly this situation, though we hopefully are not fighting any Titans. So she'll also spend some time going through that, right, and explaining what it means that while we are not we're not sure what we're heading into. Basically, it could be dangerous, and yeah.
Yeah, that does not seem to deter many at all.
No, I figured, but for her own consciousness, she needs conscious. She needs to do it.
Needs them all sign a waiver.
She's also a little, she'll I guess she's coming there alone. She'll head back or give a I was gonna say a call on the sending stone. Perhaps she'll call Demas or Darius, really. Who has the sending stones now? Or
Didn't
does
give one to
Artemisia have
Artemisia?
one?
I think Artemisia has it.
Yeah,
Thought we
yeah.
bought more, didn't
One
we?
of us. Maybe we just had the two.
Do I have one? Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, you had Artemisia had one and Echo had one. I believe Artemisia and Echo both returned hers, so you can decide who has the two. It would make sense for Arrow to have one when she's traveling.
Yeah, I figured. I had it for a bit, definitely,
I have
because
one
I was
on my
calling
sheet,
in. Yeah.
but I don't know if that can be trusted.
No, I think we did because the rest of us were traveling. Darius could. Oh, maybe Artemisia had it. I could message and Artemisia.
Yeah, I'm pretty
and
sure we gave it to Artemisia because
Yeah.
when she calls, it's gonna need that's a huge time suck to come here manually, even on Aravandar's back.
I mean, anyway, you contact, right? You also have other people.
Yes,
Yeah,
she'll.
you have other reason to.
She'll fly back if nothing else, and
I mean, Arid is literally a messenger, so if anyone knows how to deliver a message.
You know what? She knows exactly how to deliver it. Yeah. It's many years experience.
Writes a letter, then delivers it to Demos.
Yeah. There you go. Do you need it interpreted, translated? Yeah. She'll look to Demos they're all so young.
What?
The sirens were. They all volunteered. I imagine it was much like this with the Ultras, but I'm worried. We don't know what we're going into.
Yes, not.
Is it responsible to have them with us?
You believe it's their choice?
Of course.
Beyond that, I think the Sirens will soon need to be able to stand on their own. I don't know much about your people, but that's because you haven't, as a people, been very much around the unified manner.
We are not a people anymore. We are many people.
I think maybe it's time for that to change. And if that is to change, then they need to be involved in this. If I had the chance to reclaim a Mitros that was lost, of course I would do it.
Right.
Besides,
well,
if they face danger, we'll be there to protect them. And they will learn. We learned a lot sailing with the old, and so did the crew. I think most of them will be ready to captain a ship nowadays.
I should think so. Yeah, you're right. It's...
I'll help you. I've being responsible for the city has granted me quite a bit of perspective and perhaps a few pointers in how to rule and lead.
Well, I myself was a tribe leader back in the day, but I knew those people, you know? I'd grown up with them. These are strangers committing their lives to things they don't know anything about, truly.
Because they trust you. That's why it's your responsibility to make sure that you do the best that you can.
Yeah, I appreciate that. In my tribe, our leadership was made of 2 people. I found it is a good way sometimes to be able to discuss things. I might lean on you for that now.
That's nuts.
I must say that going back to a more perhaps leadership position after everything, it pains me a bit. It brings up memories that used to be good, but you understand.
I don't know that I do. Not entirely, at least. My loss of family was irreversible, yet somehow I've managed to bring together some of it. I suppose what I lost was the potential of what you lost. The family I could have had. Instead, I'm here now, doing what needs to be done.
Well, all I want is to try and make sure that others don't have to have the same loss.
A noble goal. And I think we've already done so. I think we'll have to do it again. And I can understand why the people, tyrants, want to follow you. Because they have the same wish. These years, the years of war, end of the Oath of Peace, everyone's lost something. Those who wish to stand up and say no more, I think we should encourage it. You will not know them. At least I don't know most of my people. I don't think I could meet all of them in my lifetime. But they see me. And we have to be as symbols. Once the 5 were symbols for us, but now with them no longer around, people need something to believe in. They need an ideal to strive to be like. Something to show them what it means to be good. Show them what the right way is.
I suppose well, the one thing about the Oath of Peace was that we were, of course, the soldiers of Ultras. They had already signed up when I found you. I suppose I got used to us being able to do these things without risking the lives of too many other people. Even with the Ultras, we always used it more as a waste of transportation than a weapon. I suppose it's naive. They will have to learn like we did so that they can stand on their own, even if we're not there anymore.
I think great people come from great adversity. Some would say that I'm wrong, that perhaps the world is better off with no conflict, with peace everlasting, full fields and fat goats. But I think in such a world, people grow complacent. They forget that sacrifices were made for what they have. The adversity we face, the unpreparedness, is due to the Oath of Peace lasting for as long as it did, the guarantee of safety. I think some strife is necessary, some conflict is good, in order for progress to continue. I'm not saying, of course, that I wish for people to die, but I think being able to rise up and influence the world you live in is empowering and is something that should be possible. They are risking their lives. You are not risking. You're giving them the opportunity to do something that they care about. Is there any nobler way to find your end? I don't think so.
You have grown.
I don't know how it works with sirens, but with us it happens as years pass. Yes.
Well,
And as you're given responsibilities beyond your means. I don't know if all this is, but I've thought about it a lot. And not a day goes by where I do not worry for this city. Well, stream. I think I was done with that conversation, huh? And the stream for that matter. Yeah. We're reconnecting. Let's see if we can get that to work. Like the recording will be what we upload. This has been happening regularly. Been working on the line. So we'll be back in a moment. Probably the other's gonna take a moment's break. Ah. Step. Not much I can do but wait. Basically, well, I'm getting a bit tiresome. Yeah. All right. Well, I can get you at my router. See if this is. Be authentic and spoiled technical difficulty side of streamer/recorder. There we go. Score it back here.
Difficult arcana check, but there may be information you can glean.
All right. Would this be something I could guidance myself on?
It's a check that basically represents what you do for like a week straight.
Okay.
Guidance lasts 4 minutes.
Yeah, fair.
I don't think so.
And then I'm assuming that also rules out my portent dice.
Let me look at the exact wording just so I don't. I'm fair. That's the cleric one, right? Or the wizard one? You have so many.
Yes. I will never play anything like this again. This is stupid.
Okay. You can replace any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check made by you or a creature that you can see.
Yeah. And I believe skill checks count as ability checks.
Rules as written, yes, but I don't think it goes. It's not in the spirit of things, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's a long-term research thing.
Mm-hmm. I think that's totally fair.
I've returned.
Hello,
Welcome
Mankind.
back.
Perhaps lucky.
I just give me a roll then.
All right. Let's see. It was an Arcana.
Arcana, yes.
And could I get help from Aegis? Be like, hey, let's. Oh no, he's busy. They're doing stuff, so no. Oh boy.
I mean, there is enough of the research that Aegis has already done that you can draw on, so you can have advantage on this.
Okay. I might burn.
It's not like you're starting from scratch.
Yeah, this is important. There we go. Now we're talking. 28.
All right. I mean, I did set the DC to 25 to get the juicy information, and you certainly beat that. So, looking over things, like trying to figure out what Aegis has done there, leads Darius to a few conclusions that at least make sense to him. Whether they are true is a whole different issue, but he did roll a 28, so maybe. Darius would definitely agree with Aegis that this spot is not like the center that the other islands rotate on. The procedure that Aegis has used was basically find every mention that any sailor ever in a book has made about distances and times it took to reach certain places and try to correlate them with the time they were made on to see if you could like plot a trajectory of the different islands, yada yada, details, whatever. But that apparently didn't lead to anything. Well, it led to some things at least, but not what you would expect if that spot that Aegis is so obsessed about was exactly the center. You'd think things would rotate around that or do something, but it seems to have no correlation to any of those trajectories at all. It seems pretty random too. Like it's not the center. It's not correlated to anything. It seems to be a pretty small spot. Maybe there's like an island there, but there's no record of anything like that. And Darius would definitely agree that it seems very deliberate. It's not a natural phenomenon. Someone has decided that this spot does not follow any of the movement of the rest of the Forgotten Sea. There's multiple reasons that could be. You rolled very high, so you could make assumptions. That spot is fixed. It's not fixed in space. Maybe it's fixed in time.
What the fuck? Okay.
It's not necessarily that time stands still there, but at least the movement of it does. It does not. So it could be a reason. There's no way for Darius really to confirm that, but it sounds spooky enough that just going there and teleporting back might not necessarily be something that just works that easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to leave that.
There's no suggestion that it would not work, but there's also no suggestion that if it's already so weird, deliberately time locked or whatever, that there might not be more at worse.
Yeah.
And if it's deliberate, maybe there's actual, like sentient creatures there that might have made it that way. It has to be done that way by someone. Darius could certainly, from that conclusion, come to a connection, which would, of course, be the Sphinxes. They've messed with time. You've met John the Time Goat.
Yeah.
There are bigger ones, more powerful ones.
And if I recall correctly, their island just sort of disappeared once we were done with it.
It did, yes.
So,
in fact, that no time passed at all for anyone who wasn't you.
Yeah.
You just arrived at a point and everyone thought, "Oh, there's nothing here. Oh well, let's keep traveling." While you had a whole thing.
Yeah. So a space that no one can find just by moving around and is time locked. Yeah. That screams that they had influence there. Oh, yeah, but I have absolutely no clue how to go about finding John the Time Code again.
With that check, you can also still agree with Aegis that the way he originally suggested to get there, or perhaps rather the way that I believe it was Hades actually specifically suggested that to get there, would likely still work. I mean, it's not a drain that the islands are circling around, but since it's the only point that's not really moving, anything eventually ends up there. It's just a question of whether it takes, days or centuries. As long as it doesn't collide with anything, it might end up there. Just by pure chance, really.
It's not really reliable.
I mean, says the person who can literally, manipulate fate. Reliable is not really a concern if you have the right tools.
It's true. I'm just skeptical of any information Hades gives. And also just don't really know how to exploit that. It's not like I can just hang out in the ocean for centuries.
As a reminder, Hades specifically suggested acquiring the fancy tool that the Fates use.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. That's got to be. Yeah, I think that's the way to go, because that would be a hell of a gamble to try it the other way. Much as I want to see Arcurania. But okay, cool. That'll be like, my week of research and stuff, and Manakai's back now, so.
Yeah, just to reiterate for the original plan, it might work that way, but since it's unlikely to just be, a random uninhabited spot, there's probably more at work there that may end up introducing complications. That's about as precise as I can be. I just want to highlight that there might be concerns, but I'm not going to give you specifics. Which means that there are concerns.
Yes. Yeah, and if it's not something that I can do as like a downtime thing, I'm not going to do it, because I will be just me playing alone while everyone sits there, and that's not fun.
We'll go with you to beat up the fate.
Oh yeah, that'll be the day.
But let's ascend first. At least, we don't know when Artemisia will be done in Eresia. So maybe we'll have some days.
Oh, that reminds me, Ariad, there was something I forgot. The Crossroads has become a sort of like big old meeting place, specifically for merchants and travelers who do still travel between Eresia and Mitros. Profit knows no bounds and all that. You do hear some rumors, inevitably.
Oh, yeah, lay 'em on me.
Rumors of a civil war brewing in Eresia, where a horrible Medusa is apparently trying to wrest control of the city from its rightful owner. Supposedly, Narcissus has been taken over by said evil creature, and it's a whole deal. It's terrible.
All right.
What's that rumored not be about, Artemisia?
Yeah, she'll definitely not confirm those rumors. That sounds like slander. And will be treated as such, Yeah, alright, she'll stare with the others with like an eye roll, right? This is very predictable. And yeah. what do you do, right? Like in my mind, I'm like, oh no, like you want to like do a counter campaign, but it's like, what do you do? Oh yeah, the leader of the Dragonlords are crashing into your town and trying to dethrone your queen. Yeah, that does. You know what? I don't know how to put that.
It'll solve itself.
Yeah.
Or we will have to come solve it alongside her.
Yeah.
Ideally not, though. For now, we should just stay away so it doesn't become like a...
Right, so it doesn't
international
become,
problem.
oh hey, Midros is, attacking them. Yeah, exactly. And that is, yeah. But she'll share it with the others. Like a comment. Like, yeah, that is to be expected, really.
Malachi, why are you asking about Yonder?
Well, I just... in the player's guide, it's mentioned, but I'm like, I don't know where it is.
Yonder, I believe that's where
Yonder
we met Eric.
Island. Yes, it is. Yonder Island was the headquarter of the Order of Sidon, where you got the Antikythera device, where you faced Gaius and his dragon.
Okay.
Gaius and Argon, actually.
Hey, Gaius and Ariad's dragon.
Long time ago. All right. It just in the book it says Yonder is the only place where you can find the true ancient history of the Thylea. I was like, huh. Maybe we should go check that out about these krakens. But,
Yeah.
All right. Seems like we're already there.
Yonder had a massive ruin of an old Gigan city that the Order of Sidon used as their headquarters.
Right. Yeah,
It's where Chandras turned Artemisia into a crab.
yeah, I remember. We just
And
That is literally where I came in, and thunder struck, thunder burst or whatever, thunder clashed.
over on Yonder
Yeah.
Isle.
a lot
All
of
right.
things
Well,
happened.
anyway,
Okay, yeah.
maybe we should excavate that at some point for some answers. But Dragon City and all.
Go see the
But
City of the Sirens.
let's see what that has. That probably has something. Go. We're ready. We've
Yeah,
got ships. We've got crew.
sure.
We've got sword. We've got Kira.
Yeah, spellcasters, all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Get
You
some treasure.
can set off.
Aegis doesn't want to come along.
I mean, if you asked that way, you would be delighted. And from the sounds of it, like he really, really wants to, but he wouldn't have asked. If you want him to come along, he absolutely will.
I think that Ariad would she might. No, you know what? She'll ask. She'll ask if he wants to come. It'll be handy. She'll it'll be useful. After all, you're the one who made these calculations, and while I'm sure that me and Darius are more than capable, I think that it would be good to have someone else's perspective.
He smiles broadly and says, you see, well, I thought you'd never ask, but I already packed my bags in case you did, so it would be a waste to unpack them again, wouldn't it?
I could not agree anymore. Yes. Yeah, I think she's sort of fond of him after spending the week of just talking a lot. No, and she doesn't have to bring him back something he can see for itself. Yeah.
He will also mention, there's something odd. Something I've never really questioned because, well, why would I? How did my old boss know about the whole city in the first place? None of us have ever been to Phileo. Don't remember him mentioning any sources.
If you don't mind me asking, who was your boss?
Name's not important. He's not a great person, let's put it that way. Paid well. That's why, well, I went to work for him. was very, very motivated. Let's put it that way. Very well focused on whatever might have been there, to the point of maybe I was blind back then. He seemed, retrospect, bit of a fanatic, really. You know, you have to be to build an airship of the size that has never been built before to sail into a storm of, quite frankly, epic proportions. We were prepared for a lot, except not a bunch of big birds, I suppose, who were inevitably our downfall. He shrugs.
Right. Well, in Arya's mind, it's like, is there any way that it could be involved with Hades? I don't know. Religion. Ugh.
You're asking if Australia is hell, literally.
You know. Hey. I would never.
But say it.
I
No
mean, it's a
people.
lovely place. I hear the animal life is just, versatile and incredibly welcoming. No, yeah. She'll ponder upon that a little bit. And, yeah. I suppose she'll be on the ship with all the sirens. That'll probably be the right choice. Or maybe they need to sail alone, without Mom there. That's fair too.
Presumably there's a blend on both ships.
Makes them.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't know how to sail, actually. Though, let's be honest. They need
No, they need to be taught.
some Metrosian sailors, too.
Yeah. Wow. All right. No,
All of
it's
our old
true.
Ultras
We're
buddies
good at
are
it.
like, they've got into leadership positions and now they're training the next generation.
We're good at
Yeah.
this. Sailing is Mitros' thing.
Do a little
it
fist
is-
bumps.
It is true that sirens aren't known for ships.
No, they can fly.
Yeah, why would they use ships?
But when they're happy,
For a while, like Ariad had to get boots once, she lost her entire tribe and she couldn't control her mood anymore. Because she was just used to be able to do like basically meditation rituals to fly and be happy, so she had to actually get boots and like walk for a while with gross bare feet and blisters because why you didn't need them. Just claws, but yeah, had to get some kind of a new footwear. To imagine they all want to sit in the crow's nest, but there's not room.
right, let's go. See.
All right, you set off. How many ships do you take?
3.
All 3 of them.
It makes
All
sense,
right.
right? We need to get some data on how they function, and if something goes wrong, it's better to have one to like rescue us.
Yeah, better to have a backup.
Yeah, some experience too. Also, like this is also a chance for the sailors to gain experience with these boats. You're absolutely right.
Want them to know how to move it. Demons, after all, wants to at some point map or like figure out the islands of the sea here and try to make evacuation places and some safe ones. A long-term plan. But if it's gonna work, we need people who know how to sail these ones.
All right. You set off, following the directions of the Antikythera. I'm just preparing something here.
Ship in front, with the royal sails or whatever. The other two. You
Yeah,
can all
I
pretty
imagine
easily
that.
move between ships, but if they're
I was gonna say
less
Arya
wide,
can
then
she'll fly about a bit, talk with the crews,
Alright, you set off. And the first day, honestly, entirely unremarkable. You do get followed out of the harbor of Mitros by a few boats who are basically just curious, sort of cheering you on, no matter what the hell you're up to. They don't know, but it's the first true trip of the new Mitrosian Navy. It's the Heroes of Prophecy. A bunch of small barges following you for a couple hours before turning back again. But the rest of the day, weather is quiet enough. The Cerulean Gulf as tranquil as usual. But it does fairly significantly change once you leave the waters close to Phylea, once you go into the Forgotten Sea proper the next day. The next early morning, pretty much, before even Demos would get up to do his training. The rocking of the boat certainly is something. Not just the rocking, but also the flexing. It is something that really, really bothers the sailors. The hull of the ship not only is stronger, supposedly, as the old ships, but also flexible to the point where you can visibly see the whole ship get twisted and turned as the waves strike it. The concern, however, is misplaced. In fact, if anything, the ship almost instinctively leans into the waves, softening them a bit. Something that any normal ship would have really struggled with. The skilled sailors having no problem with a couple waves. It of course doesn't stay as only a couple waves. On end of day 2, really, you reach the Forgotten Sea proper. Despite it being early afternoon at best, the sun is hidden behind thick, dark storm clouds. The waters have waves that have long since grown much larger than any of your ships, really. The ship frequently turning almost vertical as it climbs the cliffs of the waves, drifting down into the valleys. The Sirens, who don't really have experience with sailing, certainly have a bit of a fright. It's not exactly something they expected. Many hiding, underground. Some of the more adventurous ones, however, doing things they probably shouldn't, like forcing themselves to stay on deck. Like one even trying to climb up into the crow's nest and being told in very colorful and very much not polite words by some of the experienced sailors to not do that because, oh god. Things like that.
Yeah, I think I mean, I'm not sure if there's other people here who haven't sailed a lot. I imagine we might have a couple scholars with us or something. Just we have Darius as the narrator, but it's good to have people here. Like Ariad would try and see if, because she certainly was not used to sailing on boats. Why would you do that when you can fly? And she got a little sick in the beginning, so she would have prepared some kind of, herb potion, whatever. Ginger slightly make you a little bit less sick and maybe heat you up a little bit in the stormy weather. As much to have something to do while on the ship, because she has to, of course, be close by when we have to navigate. But I figure she can still manage to make a pot of, or at least have someone make a pot of land crab, whatever you say.
Land crab juice or whatever.
Yeah, this is, and I imagine some of the sailors might like it a little bit. Oh yeah, look at these non-sailor people, huh? A little novelty, And yeah, she'll just hang out with Aegis, I suppose, navigating.
Yeah. It, of course, doesn't stop there. it wouldn't be a chaotic Forgotten Sea if it weren't even worse, really.
Yes.
You've of course experienced it from a distance, but the weather just keeps getting worse and worse to the point where the large waves are, well, your perspective changes about what large really is. At multiple points during the beginning of the third day, you see something. Well, I don't want to put words into your mouths. Basically, waves the size of tsunamis, almost. A thing that even with the elven-built ships worries the sailors significantly as they prepare to face the wave. Probably not something that's going to sink you immediately, but it's the thing where you like have to gulp a bit and get ready to really put your skills to the test. Except it never really reaches you. As what's the word for a really large breeze? It's as if the air itself would be punching that wave to the point that it just disintegrates. It's a spectacle, to be sure, a phenomenon that none of the sailors can really explain. That a sudden wind, a storm breeze, basically, is strong enough to really bother any of the waves, who are significantly heavier, of course. It's almost like the sea and the storm itself were not just, from the same source, the storm causing the waves, but rather as if the two were actively fighting one another. The very elements trying to wrestle control over, well, whatever it is, elements wrestle over, really. The water and the air do not seem to like each other here.
Frowns.
Good for us.
Yeah, I guess.
It makes for a chaotic journey as the wind sometimes suddenly changes directions while the waves continue traveling a whole different way. It's a whole mess. It escalates. It escalates to one of the sailors suddenly being picked up by an errant, wind, really. As if a sudden whirlwind had materialized on deck as he is being thrown about. Multiple sailors rushing him to try to grab him before he gets carried away. Except that the wind materializes into a vaguely creature-like shape that starts going rampant on deck. I'm of course talking about elementals.
Okay.
I am going to make a map. Boats are gonna look like the Ultras, because for the warships I only have a black and white map that I don't want to use.
It's an homage.
Do I have vision blocking? Sort of. We're gonna stay on the Mitros map. I have convenient water available here. Where are you? You are in Mitros. Where's the rest of you? There's some of you. Where did Darius go? Trying to.
I'm at the Dragonlords. Oh. Yeah, we're all split out.
I try to cut and paste tokens so that I don't end up with
I
because I always forget which one's which.
Yeah, I'm just moving your tokens here. Are you all on the same boat? Or did you split up?
I was thinking we probably would be on one each.
One each, yeah.
As legendary heroes of prophecy.
Yeah.
There's. I don't know. It just makes sense. We can easily move between them.
Congregate on whichever one's being attacked.
So easily. I don't know how easy it is for dragons to fly in this weather.
I'll get to that in a moment. The short answer is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably even a bad idea. It's possible, but it's
All right, I have a dimension door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Basically, if you try to fly, you have to roll a strength save. If you succeed, you fly as normal. If you fail, you instead travel into a random direction. If you fail 3 times, you land in the water. And I can tell you that's bad news.
What DC are we looking at?
Well, luckily, dragons are good at that.
It's a strength save DC 16.
Oh,
But, okay. Not trivial.
Not trivial.
Is this while I would be concentrating on what's it called? Control weather? I haven't used it in so long.
The assumption is that you are using that spell, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be worse if you weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
It
after
would be
Sidon
worse.
died, right? This got way
Yeah,
worse
so
than it used to be.
no concentration spells for me. Copy.
That's the storm. Presumably, there's no god of storms, which is why it's good.
Yeah, it's even. Yeah, chaos.
Imagine if we had someone who could become the new god of the Forgotten Sea and calm the storms and the winds so that sirens could fly across it.
yeah, that'd be really nice, Darius.
You know, someone who maybe were related to.
Who already has
Inherited
control weather?
out
Yeah,
of
I
the
know. It
incredible
makes
power
sense.
of-
No,
Really.
I completely lost all ambition in that with the revelation that we're not physically connected to the outside world. That was the only reason I cared about that.
Maybe she'll be the god of like music, knowing things. There's one of those two.
Scholar.
No, we could double dip. Music and knowing things. Music is something you can
Mhm.
know.
The bard.
I should have prepared all these tokens sooner, but I was like, I don't know who you're gonna bring. Like, how can I prepare? I'm sure I have a siren token.
Just it cannot be a harpy one. I'll recognize it,
Oh,
sheep.
no.
Mm-hmm.
Harpies
There's
are
a
cursed.
difference. And it's an
The
insult.
curse of the harpy is like
There's
the
a
Medusa one,
difference.
except you become a harpy. It's usually done by hags who punish you by being a harpy. You know,
I do have siren
You gotta be
tokens.
cursed. You gotta become one of the Medusa, because then you get to have eternal life. A harpy, you sort of think.
Yeah, you also like
Own sort of-
become mad and mindless. Otherwise, you'd be a full-fledged Medusa by now.
There's a real
That's
chance
fine.
that the demons would. Like
A
he would,
harpy?
he would- no, a Medusa. Cursed by
I
the
was
king.
gonna
He
say,
would-
at least you would have a fly speed.
a few more days and he would kill all of you in your sleep.
He got
Yeah.
all pretty though.
Think about it.
He looked really amazing for it.
It makes you consider, like, good thing we weren't Artemisia's first friends. The one else who got killed. If you make
She
new
has
friends after that,
she's the like
Oh.
diluted version. She gets to keep her sanity.
Yeah. Does she though? I mean, who knows? Who knows what really happened, right?
Mhm.
Oh lord, that's a big break.
Just
Ugh,
importing.
D20 plus 2.
no, these
Rough.
people are not epic heroes
Boy.
yet.
Yeah, that's right. What? They're like
Hey,
level
they've
5?
got cantrips. Good for them.
No, there's a few low-level druids and one high-level druid. I'm not sure if they're going to be super relevant, but they'll try to help and maybe get killed by an air elemental. Who knows?
I just don't.
Just gonna say, just go downstairs and hide. We need you alive. This is what the heroes were made for.
Anyone who partakes get an equal share of the XP.
Super level them up.
Do the Pokemon thing, have them first in the
Yeah.
queue, and then switch them out.
Switch about immediately on turn 1.
Yeah. Bulbasaur! And then like,
And it's a
no,
priority
come
move,
back.
so we always go first.
Magic
Ariad, I choose you!
Yeah. We can also, assume we've all got Alacrity on. It would have been.
Beam them.
Isn't that concentration as well?
It is not.
Oh, there we go.
It's lasts for 8 hours.
Oh, yes. Visited earlier.
I just never fully restock my first level spell slots. It's just a thing you always have.
Good to know.
It's like before I wore actual armor, I just had always one less spell slot because I had mage armor on.
Yeah.
'Cause why wouldn't I?
Well, luckily,
I
I get one cast of it for free, and then with Artemisia not being here, it's like, oh, I actually have some first level spell slots now between those two things. Crazy.
Yeah, I need like a minute here. I just deleted.
Alright, I'm gonna
Aegis and
biobrack. Will you do that?
Yeah. So what do you think we're gonna find?
at the sirens.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I mean,
Ruins,
presumably we have to go into the water, and it seems like the water is pretty hostile right now. So
Well, waves only matter on top of it.
yeah, I feel like Sheep said that it was real bad if we fell in the water.
True.
So I think also like, yeah, a bunch of ruins. I wonder a bit if it'll be like sort of a like Atlantis thing, like Lost City of Atlantis or whatever. But I don't think so, because the point of Poseidon certainly wasn't like.
You want to smash it.
Yeah, exactly. He wanted to smash it and crash it, right? But I mean, who knows? Maybe some of them had like, I mean, presumably it had some power since they made this giant tower. You know, could be an Atlantis. I'm hoping. Surely that's something to do with Greek tragedy.
Yeah, but
you know.
But like treasure, right? There's probably lots of treasure.
Yeah.
You know, there's a magic spear, and if it's like their holy item or something, that would make it so much more difficult to acquire.
I figure. Yeah, it's definitely not gonna be easy. I'm not sure if it's gonna be more environmental issues, I suppose.
Elemental.
Or if it's yeah. Yes, elemental. Well, just like yeah. It's
We
gonna be
found
interesting.
that it seems likely that some underwater monster might have.
Oh no, yeah. Some weird guardian, right?
This is
Or
how-
just inhabitants. I mean, it has been in like presumably not inhabited for a while, unless there's some magic society down there. Like, I mean, it would stand to reason that something bad moved in there.
we are playing D&D.
Yeah, you know what? Like, what's cooler than
Finding-
having
I
your
think
lair be a
it's gonna be
ruined
fun.
city?
Yeah.
You know?
I think that it's just going to be like a regular old expedition, and it'll be really neat.
Yeah.
Stones?
Do some sightseeing. I think it's also interesting because there's actually not a lot, at least from what I have read. Like, even the snippet about sirens is basically like, oh yeah, they had a cool city, then, the Sidon was mad at them
Jealous.
and crashed it, right? So, like, it's not really anything that I knew. Like, when I made Ariad, I basically made my own clan's culture and their laws and their structure, anything, right? Because there's not really anything to base it on because there's no consensus. So I think even just like finding some information,
Yeah,
like
it's cool.
for me as a player and also Ariad, about like anything, right? Any sort of cultural, knowledge into how it was structured, what were their society like, what kind of magic did they have, right? Because she certainly doesn't know.
Have to be excited and jealous.
Right, yeah. Presumably he might have felt they infringed on his power sphere, you know? Like the whole thing seemed to be like, oh, their tower was trying to reach the gods. It's like Babylon, basic, classic.
He
I
was
feel.
he was always the patron of like the Gaigans, who were their own like super advanced civilization. Well, the Dragonlords came and killed all of them.
Yeah,
So it has to be
well,
more
the thing
advanced
is,
than that.
they used to praise Sidon, right? They used to be under his and praise him, and then he got mad. I wonder, could also be that they made or found this incredible weapon, and he was like, "Oh shit!"
I think they were trying to use it.
Right? Because it does, like, the whole tower thing was like, oh yeah, they like went too far or whatever, right? They tried to reach the gods or whatever. That definitely could be the spear, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. To reach
Yeah.
the gods, that seems like almost like a
Right? It just occurred to me like, oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, it's probably a double entendre. Like,
Right? Yeah.
All right. How about
ooh.
all of you roll me a d20?
A D20.
right.
I need to deal out these water
6.
elementals. Whoever rolls highest gets the big one. There you go. Teros wins.
Great. Awesome.
That's
I mean,
what
I'm not
you
sure
wanted.
if the others have it easier. They get 3 of them.
Yeah, I would love to have the multiples, but that's how she be.
I was gonna say I need to update this token. Got my sweet extra, HP from level. All right.
Whose boat is Aegis and Mikkel traveling on?
Probably
Ariadne's.
Well,
All right.
I mean, they would have to be in front, though, right? Like,
necessarily.
but then, yeah, no, yeah,
Like, it's not like we're going by it. It's like, you don't go this direction for 2 days and then
right, yeah,
adjust.
okay,
I don't think.
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't think navigation here is like a real time job.
No.
Yeah.
We have flags and stuff to signal. Whatnot. We're pretty close.
To the message
Right,
can't
yeah.
That's probably easy.
The 2 of them, Mikkel and Aegis, are certainly competent combatants that unless you explicitly tell them to get the fuck out, they will try to support you. The sailors and such, they're basically just decoration. One of the sirens that Ariad brought is a fairly competent druid, but probably not to the strength of being actually relevant here. She would
Alright.
more be a hindrance, really. Like,
I was gonna say,
I'm not sure
yeah, I would definitely just, command them to go under deck. Like, this is a place for trained soldiers right now. This is our job. They have their own jobs.
So as soon as they are able, they'll basically disappear. I just wanted some decoration.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. No, it's cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Also, I see that they're sirens, which is, cool.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I've said before, basically any movement at all on deck is difficult terrain. Flying is possible, but it's also difficult terrain, and you roll a DC 16 strength save. If you fail, you're moved half your flight speed in a random direction. If you succeed, it's fine. If you fail 3 times before landing, you plummet into the sea, where I've put some water elementals who you don't see at this moment, but you can guess that they exist. Give me some initiative.
I let the sailors shoot at
So-
the water.
Do we have alacrity?
Yep. Just delete that other macro. You just assume you always have a macro. Unless we have multiple battles within a 9-hour or like 2 battles within
27,
a 9-hour
28. Holy
approach.
shit!
Could you make me able to use the macro? I'm allowed
Yes. Where are you? There you are, in the middle.
the yellow one. But also the yellow one.
One notable thing is the appearance of these elementals. They don't manifest as, well, they're tokens basically in a sort of humanoid shape. They are more like long serpentine creatures, like a big old maw, a long body, like streaks.
Mm.
Now you can use it.
Well, they gotta die. That's what I have to say. Anything vaguely serpentine for him is not my friend, and thus, you know.
Just like dragons with very long bodies. No wings.
Yeah.
Alright, time for all of these guys to roll. 1, 2, 3. I'm not gonna roll for the water elementals, they're just there. If you fall into the water, there's the water and also those guys to mess with. To worry about, rather. And to mess with, I suppose.
Are we gonna mess with them, alright?
No, ideally not. We can sail away from them.
Darius, it is your turn then.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just sort of start off by calling for everyone to run. Stay safe, and Darius will use a bardic inspiration and give an air elemental. I guess I'll resist bludgeoning. There's no such thing as air damage, right?
No.
Yeah, I'll give bardic resistance to Dareth Axel with a resistance to bludgeoning damage. And then for my action, I will use Channel Divinity and Trance. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Boop. And then, yeah, we'll go up and back this greater air elemental. You know what? To hell with it. Oh no, they're probably very dexterous. Let's just use the bite. Bam! That's a 14 to hit.
That does not bother this elemental.
Well, that's oh wait, no, 15 because it has help.
Still no. The large, semi-draconic, like long form of the air elemental seems to just twist out of the maw of Derexel here and take no damage whatsoever. Ariat.
Alright. Yeah, I mean, we've had a full rest. Do we know how close we are to the city of the lost city of the Sirens?
If it works like any other location in the sea, you are like a few hours away from your destination. If it doesn't, who knows?
No, I was just like, do I need to conserve my spell slots a little bit, or
Possibly.
or should I chain lightning? All right. Well, I'll quicken. Spells. Actually. No, yeah. I'll quicken and do, my Eldritch Blast Barrage. Let me just see here. Sorry. Eldritch Blast. Is that still 3 times, or is it 4 times?
Got to roll for these two.
I think. Oh. Sweet beams at 11. Yeah, alright. And I will target Well, I'll start by targeting the one by Aegis. That's what I'll do. And yeah. Wait, Cat, this is not the right token, is it?
I don't know which one I took.
No, it is not.
Pretty sure this was one.
Yeah, there seem to be 2 tokens.
This one?
I'm just gonna take the one. Because I changed my macros last time. That's the only reason I know.
Yeah, I copied another version of Ariat above you there. Maybe it's
Okay.
that one.
Yeah, it's on the dragon, our headquarters, basically.
Oh, that one. Okay, let me grab that.
Yeah. I'll delete this other one. Oh no. Imposter.
That's
There we
another one.
go. Ayo. Oh, I was 27 initiative. Do I need to roll again?
No,
Okay.
I'll add it. I'll add it.
All right, because I made specifically a macro that rolls 3, and here they go. 6 at the one next to Aegis.
All right, they all hit. Damage is that 71, blasting into the thing. There's like a big old spot where the air just gets dispersed whenever the force blast goes through it. It's almost gone. It's barely hanging together.
All right.
Is Argon gonna do anything?
I'm gonna say, let's see here. I mean, she would have to fly and risk, right?
Yep, flying is difficult.
I think she would just ready an action if one of the air elementals come into range. She will strike.
She can walk. I mean, that's still possible.
Oh, that's not difficult?
It would be difficult terrain, but it wouldn't have the risk
Oh.
of flinging you off the boat.
Yeah, alright. Now she'll walk. I mean, she's graceful.
A grand old 20 feet.
Ugh, this is just enough. That's all her need. Alright, what is it? Is it 1 bite, 1 claw? Is that how it goes?
I believe it's just one attack.
Oh, alright, let me look here. I haven't been a dragon for a while. Well, that's not at all true, but I meant this dragon. Alright, bite!
That is a hit. Good one, too.
Yeah, my girl done me proud.
Don't believe it counts. Does it count as a magical attack?
Look.
I'm gonna look it up for you.
The dragon token that you made me. I don't know.
It does not. So it does half damage.
So 10 damage. That's good.
All right. Aegis is wielding a strange tube that he pushes a button on that spews forth metal towards the small air elemental.
What the fuck? He has a gun?
Here's a shotgun.
It's a shotgun. What the fuck?
The first shot goes wide, but the second one does connect.
Dude!
Is Rue hunting boomstick?
That's embarrassing to miss with a shotgun.
Does exactly enough, despite the resistance, to disperse this elemental.
Shooting into
5
the air.
HP. Jesus. All right. Well, you're welcome, kill stealer. No.
Yeah, the first roll was a 2. On a 1, his gun explodes.
Oh, well, yeah.
Someday we're gonna have to deal with people like this.
Yeah.
This elemental.
Maybe we don't let him go back to Eperon or wherever he's from,
Come for Demos.
Does it provoke moving like through?
That is a good question. It's certainly gonna like move in your face.
Well, I guess
That's
it
the goal.
does it? No, it wouldn't. Not in this edition.
Only if it moves away, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The elemental can enter a hostile creature space and stop there.
Okay.
And then it will do a whirlwind. Each creature must make a DC 13 strength saving throw. It's both of you.
I can't actually select my token easily while he's on my face.
Oh,
But,
sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
dragon.
27. Jesus
Yes.
Christ. Oh my god.
Wrong people for
There's
power.
no chance.
Here.
They're standing fast. No, Demos couldn't even fail.
Alright, Demos, your turn.
Demos does not fail. Demos strikes with a lot of lovely might against. They really, vanquish them with magic. Double last attack.
Hit, and hit. 29, 40 damage. Just magic, so it pierces the thing.
Dragon will just fight.
That is a miss. Mikael has a crossbow that he'll fire once before realizing it's entirely pointless in this weather. And then he's gonna, move up and try to guard area here, drawing a longsword. This elemental. Gonna try the same thing. Enter Demos' space and whirlwind. Xerxes is too large to be thrown away, but she does take 18 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, okay. There's a failure. Does she fail?
Oh, sorry, it's a DC 13. I read that as an 18. You're both fine.
And I think we will be. For the foreseeable future.
Yeah, these small guys at least. I mean, the dragon's no fun to throw about. Gonna go for Mikael. Space. See if he gets thrown overboard. No, he holds steadfast. All right. It's terrible to stack tokens.
Did that move past Oregon's reach?
It did, yeah.
So I get an attack opportunity? Sorry, there's no grid for me. I can't seem to overlay it, so I have a real hard time judging distance.
Oh, you're right, because the ship. It is an object. That's weird. Oh, it's gone.
Now I see a grid.
The ship moved. I mean, whatever. The exact position of the ship doesn't really matter too much here. But now there's a good. Yes, you get an attack opportunity. Elementals don't have anything that prevents that. Which is strange. That's a hit. Bit of slashing damage.
It's not a lot, but it's free.
This big one will also try it. It'll move basically on top of both of you, but it's too annoying. Is that also DC 13? I guess it is.
Yeah, it says so. I mean, I don't have great. So
but 32 is
yeah.
enough.
Oh, that was not me. Sorry, I am having a very hard time.
10 is not. Yeah, it's on Demos and Xerxes.
Yeah, okay.
A 10 is a failure, which means she takes 19 bludgeoning damage, and let me roll a d8 with 0 being north. She gets thrown 20 feet that way.
Right. Does Demos get thrown with her, or?
Yes, you're on top of her. This one is going to do the same to Argyn. Whirlwind, strength saving throw.
Alright. I need to zoom back over there. Yeah. Haha!
That is a success.
It is. That's right.
This one's going to do the same thing to Darius and Derefexel here. This one, however, is a DC 14.
Ooh. I'm going to burn both of the dice that I just got. The 15 on myself, -1 is a 14. The 13 plus Derethexel. Derethexel has a crazy strength save.
All right. Bent fate, do not get knocked into the water.
Yeah, that would make a crappy tale, you know, like.
And he drowned.
And the hero got chucked in the water. Oh.
Right, it is your turn, Darius.
Yeah, so I want to go banish them, but I can't case any concentration spells in this fight.
I think they're from here.
Yeah, I think I have to just do damage and stuff. So, well, let's resolve Derethexel first. He's gonna attack with Juniper's help. That bite in there, or you know what? Screw it. No, Juniper's just gonna fly. She's got flyby, so no op.
Give me a strength saving throw with Juniper.
Oh, that was so sad. 13.
Yeah, that's what did I say? The DC was 13, I believe.
Yeah.
16.
16?
16.
I did say flying. Yes. It is 16. So instead of flying that way, let me roll a d8. She gets thrown like 30 feet this way.
That's
just
fine.
Land.
Yeah, she'll just land and waddle over as much as possible. And I'm going to use a fire breath on this greater elemental here, because something tells me it's going to be pretty goddamn useless once we go underwater. So might as well use it now. So I need a DC 17 Dexterity saving throw, please.
It fails.
Taking 49 fire.
It is oddly not resistant to fire. Look at that.
That's air. That makes sense.
Now it's hot and even more angry air.
Hang on. Darius hasn't gone yet. Did that appear to? Does it give a shit about 49 damage, or is it looking?
It seemed to have evaporated a bit of it. It's still in good shape.
In good shape. Okay. God, I keep going to cast spells and then I can't. You know what? I'll just use Booming Blade. Just get up. Smack. 26.
That hits.
For 8 damage from the Xiphos, which I believe is slashing, and then 12 thunder damage.
Is it a +1 or just a mithril?
I think it's just made of mithril. And 12 thunder.
12 thunder. It is immune to thunder damage.
Oh, fun.
Oh, wow. All right. Glad I didn't use
slash lightning.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Hey, we're learning things. Yeah. Bonus action.
Use my only level 6 spell. Jesus.
I can give bonus actions still. I don't think there's a. Is there a range on Bardic Inspiration? No, yes, there is within 60 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would not make sense either. We can't probably hear you.
Mm-hmm. It's to your here, but yeah, 60 feet is the range limit.
Basically, for this fight, if a spell says a creature that can hear you, that's basically like 30 feet.
Yeah, that's very generous.
Yeah. Harriet, your turn.
Yeah, great. There's a small air elemental that I probably have to take care of, I suppose. Yeah. I want to take care of my dragon, you stupid guy. You're. All right. I'll spend sorcerer points and do Eldritch Blasts and to help Mikhail out, I suppose. Since he is but a mere mortal.
It is true. Even with the disadvantage, since the elemental is actually like in his space and would threaten you, those all hit. 60, 70 plus 8. 78. That is enough to obliterate this elemental.
Great.
So
and I
this
will
versus-
move my 15 squares. The half speed.
Aegis has to reload and will then also move 15.
So he better fucking not shoot my dragon. I will.
Yeah, it
I
would be
will
a
throw
difficult
him
shot to
overboard
make.
myself.
The elementals have done their whirlwind, so now they'll do ordinary slam attacks. 2 of them.
Oh.
1 and 2 against Demos here.
Oh, good. I was like, oh.
That looks like a natural 20.
It sure does.
That's a hit. Now I do have adamantine armor, so that's just a normal hit. But it's a normal hit.
Alright. Then it is Demos' turn.
Right in his face. It is unpleasant. I get I get a natural 20. A bonus D8.
$36, which is exactly how much HP he has. Look at that.
Well, just down here. Bonus attack on the bigger one here. Another net 20.
Damn.
Another roll.
Good. 21.
And then there will be a poison breath. Hitting both of these.
Right. They are immune to poison.
Oh, lovely. Alright, yeah, sure. It goes into the air. How nice. Now they're poisonous whirlwinds.
Oh, Lord.
Great idea, he says. Duxia, who doesn't hear him.
Right, Mikhail really can do very little here. He has an ordinary longsword. Like he's just gonna.
No, dude, please. You go guard the sirens.
All right, he will do that.
Yeah.
This elemental will slam. 20 does not hit.
25.
This bigger one will slam at Xerxia.
No, she will not.
He
As a mounted
will not.
combatant, you cannot make attacks against the dragon. You must attack the rider.
All right, that's another net 20.
Well, I'll take my 16 damage, I suppose. I asked for it, literally. Good thing I got the adamantine armor.
Yeah, jeez.
Actually, negating crits is pretty good. This elemental will slam Argon. 1, 2, both misses.
Good.
The great elemental will slam at Derefexel.
Amazing. I
2.
don't want to be that guy, but is there whirlwind? It looks like it's a recharge roll. Have they been rolling those?
I have not. That's a good point. I'm gonna roll 2 once it becomes relevant again. they don't use the whirlwind every time.
Okay, cool. And who were these attacks against?
Against Darafexel.
Okay, 21
That
and
damage.
24 both hit. Or sorry, 21 and 22 both hit. Nothing I can do. Yeah. However, luckily I saw this coming, so she's resistant and only takes the 24.
Darius.
Wait, hang on. That's wrong. She hasn't been fully healed from last time.
Yeah, I was about to say.
She took 24 damage total, 12 twice. There we go. That's looking more like it. We'll do her attack first. I really don't know what to do with Darius on these turns. Don't have great options. 21 for 14 piercing and 2 fire.
That hits.
And single target spells. I guess I'll do Cone of Cold. It's really the only offensive thing I've got that's not concentration. Yeah. Oh wait, hang on. Visions of danger when you there's nothing I could have done anyway. Wait, hang on. No. Okay. Sorry. I will use Cone of Cold. Just try and kill this guy.
All right.
At a 5th level. So can I get a Constitution saving throw, please?
19.
I believe my DC is 20 now. But sorry, I didn't include it in the spell there. Let me just quick check. Yes, so he just fails. So 34 cold.
All right. Cold damage does seem to work.
Cool. Yeah, that's not a very good 5th level, but
Yeah, the elemental seems to be wavering a bit, at least at this point.
it's good.
Eret.
Now, is the elemental on my dragon, or?
Yep, it's
Oh, okay.
basically right there.
I would have not moved here then. All right. Well. Sorry, let me look up my. Do not have a lot of close range stuff anymore. I never get to use it anyway.
Oh, no.
No, they're immune to thunder anyway. Well, you know what? It's just gonna be Eldritch Blast anyway. Here we go. Spending sorcery points.
The third one there's a miss. First one is 2. Since you
I
would be
did roll
rolling
a
at
20. Oh, that's a disadvantage. Yeah.
yeah with disadvantage because he's threatening.
Yeah.
16. That hits. Oh, that hits. That hits for 58. Does take a good chunk out of the elemental though. It's not got much more in it.
Oh yeah. Oh, is it Oregon?
Yeah.
All right.
You want to do anything?
Yes, she'll bite.
That does it. 10.
And can she try and move out of it?
Yes, but there would be an attack of opportunity.
Even if she is still adjacent to it?
No, then there wouldn't be. Yeah, it is technically here. I just moved it so you can click the token.
Alright,
Right.
cool.
He just will waddle forward. Is he in range? No.
I was gonna say shotguns don't have an incredible range.
Not really. He'll waddle twice. Now he's in range. Demos.
Right. Been hit a couple times with these things. I'll attack the little one. Eliminate number of attacks here. So we'll start with this. I have advantage. It's smaller than my dragon. Not that really makes a difference, I don't think.
Oh. It's 26 damage.
And then I will, as part of that, I will do a life drain. DC 17 Constitution save or 15 extra necron.
Fails.
All right, 15 extra damage. Heal 15. All right. It's probably pretty wounded now, so let's follow that up with a bonus.
It is, but it still has a few hit points left to go.
Go, dragon!
That is 9 piercing and no poison.
Mm-hmm.
Still hanging in there.
Not much I could do then.
Will retaliate against Demos. Actually, this would be a turn where it tries to recharge. Recharge is a d6, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then on the recharge or higher.
Yeah.
No, it'll just slam. 1, 2. This guy? 1? Yes. Alright. Go here and whirlwind. Just probably entirely inconsequential. Yep. So it does nothing.
I'm rolling so needlessly well in those saves too.
Like I don't think Demos can fail even on a 1.
Well, you always fail at a 1, right? Save throws, but no, he is wind resistant.
This one. Let's see if
You're
it can
so
recharge.
good at it that even passing it by 1 is technically a fail.
No.
It's the only way to
Yes. It'll move here and whirlwind. Hey, both of you.
All right. Yay! Look at my dragon. Mine is not going to be that good, probably. Oh, hey! Woo!
Don't like it.
Good enough.
And now the big one. Yes.
Uh-oh.
Whirlwind.
All right. I will burn the 17 on myself. -1 is a 16. And Darathaxel, if you could move this guy, please. We'll actually roll her. 20.
That's plenty.
Yeah. No whirlwind for you.
Eris.
Cool. It's business as usual. 13. You know what? We'll spend the Bardic Inspo. For an extra 6, taking that to a 19.
19 is it.
17 piercing, 5 fire. Darius will re-up that Bardic. And I can now trance twice per short rest. So I'm just going to do that again. Ooh.
Get a 20.
That's what I should have done last turn. But, oh well.
Arid.
All right. I will 3 barrage magic.
All right. The first one is enough to destroy it.
All right. Now I need the measuring tool. How are we all doing? Do you all need help? Like,
I think we're.
you guys, like,
I'm good.
Honestly, at this point, it may not be worth risking falling in with the
Yeah.
water elementals.
No, I was gonna teleport, man. I'm not. Like, you're being crit over there a lot, Dimas.
Dimas can take it.
Alright, Darius, how you feeling? Do you need some assistance?
I wouldn't hurt for it, but don't blow too many resources. It's not a
Okay,
big
well, I would have to move a little bit anyway, so I can't do it for this round anyway, so I'm good. I'll just move my 15. Yeah. No,
Right.
stop it.
Moss.
deal. Yeah, single target big guys are not my specialty. They
well,
they played this one correctly.
I suppose I will start by hitting the small one. Then if I kill it, then go.
Yep, the first
Especially
one
when it's
destroyed it.
stable
Destroys it.
concentration.
Then there's a 30 against bigger one. On my. All right, and then we will just because I could use some more hit points, I suppose. We'll do a little second wind as well. A little bit. Then we're just gonna might as well. I mean, she's discouraged, right? This is not what she's supposed to do. They're immune to poison. She's biting air. Like, it works so well. That's it.
Alright. Big elemental will smash twice. 1, 2. No.
Recharge rolls?
Yes, I should have. That's a D8. That's a T2. When did I roll a D8?
I did for my weapon crit damage.
Yeah, that's probably.
No, I just scrolled up in my chat history and there was a D8. I don't know when I rolled a D8. Doesn't matter. There it is. Oh, the direction, yes.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So both miss. Is this thing bloody or wavy?
Yeah, it's wavy.
Wavy. Okay. Cool. I am going to just give Dareth Axel a crit on this bite attack. Since I have a 20 and a 4. So that's this plus an extra 2d10 and 1d6. So a total
14.
27 piercing and 7 fire.
All right.
Oh, right, resistances. Cool. And yeah, I guess won't even use a booming blade. I'll just use the Xiphos. Oh, it's pretty good. 19.
That is a hit. 5 damage.
Feeling.
All right. Harriet?
So again, you don't want me to come over there?
No, I mean,
would
I
cost
wouldn't.
me a 4th level spell slot.
I think this guy's on his last legs, but it's up to you. Like, I wouldn't hurt for help, but I'm not dying.
All right. Well, just I don't want you to spend all your healing shit, and then we don't have it later.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we'll get a short rest before we'd say we're like a couple hours away. But then again, you get spell slots back on a short rest, don't you?
No, I do not. I only get
right.
warlock spells.
Only
I have 2
only
levels of
warlock.
warlock. That ain't shit.
Ain't shit. It's your call.
Yeah, I think that Ariette would do it ultimately.
Yeah, you can't really communicate currently, so whatever
Yeah,
Harriet would
exactly. It's like, oh, she sees it.
Oh, that 17's gone.
And she will use her dimension door range 500.
Yeah, you can get there.
And me plus 1. So, sup, y'all? We coming. We joining whatever party. Whoop.
Boop.
Hi.
Hello.
That's my spell. Arkin would like to bite.
Nothing personal, kid. Teleports behind you.
Yeah.
19, sure. It'll resist some of that, but it's looking like it's gonna go very soon. Demos.
Alright, we'll move down here.
I still got a whole one. So let's hit it.
Hit and hit. 29.
And bonus it.
Also hit. It is exactly destroyed. The
He
elemental
rolls a
then.
4 on his first attack.
Alright. Probably a good one. And another slam on their Vexel. 20.
20 will just hit. However, hang on. What is this thing I could do here? Are you ready? So, I can use your action and cast a beneficial spell that only targets your imperiled ally. I don't think I have one that can increase. Oh, I can use a reaction spell. Oh no, this does to target them. I can't use shield. Yeah, I've got nothing to increase AC by 3, so that's not going to do anything. No. So second one, 25 halved to 12.
Yep.
Cool.
Yes.
I will give Bardic Inspo to Argon with resistance for bludgeoning. And Death Axel will attack. 18.
That is a hit.
22 piercing for fire, half to 11 and 2.
15 damage. Yeah, it's almost going.
And slashed with the Xiphos. A crit!
A crit to finish it
11
off.
damage on a crit! Woo!
It was exactly enough, as it turns out. Like on the hit
God, I
point
killed somebody
again
with a
for
sword.
the fourth time this combat or something.
Yeah.
And with that, as the boats continue to rush forward to through the seas, slightly, uncontrolled currently, but they're still just going really. There do not seem to be any more air elementals that convalesce on the deck of the ship. But looking around now, knowing that those things are around, you can actually see tons of them. These were just the ones who happened to be close enough to take an interest in you. But
That's
the sky...
great news. I have
The-
Eldritch Blast.
Got a short
Anything in
bow.
range of beaming.
You can, but it would likely attract the attention of them.
Oh, that's true.
A lot of the ones that are floating about actually seem to be messing with the water elementals down in the ocean, wherever they decide to surface. It's like a battlefield of elementals that you're passing through here. But soon enough, it's mere minutes really, and that chaos is left behind. In fact, the weather gets, as the time progresses, the minutes and then the hours gets a lot better, actually. It's still stormy, the waves are still sizable, but it's bearable.
Does that mean that I can fly back on my ship?
It would be difficult terrain, but there's no real risk of being thrown into the water.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, me and Argon will slowly make our way back.
And would I be able to take a short rest?
You can, yes.
Okay. If anyone wants to get in, I'll use the Song of Rest. Oh wait, I guess you're super far away.
I was gonna say I didn't lose anything, so I'm good, really.
Mhm. I, except for one thing, used only short rest abilities, so.
Oh, I definitely use spell slots, but I can't.
Code Cold has been disappointing this campaign. I think it's an overrated spell.
What?
Or I just don't find
Oh,
groups
Cone
for
of
it.
Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'm looking at currently, like, I haven't chosen the 7th
all the
level
spells,
spell yet,
yeah.
because they all suck. They're like, I don't know, it's not really... It's great.
Alright.
Heals
It is then
2 from the Song of Rest.
an hour or two later that, as far as the anti-care is concerned, you have arrived. The weather has gotten significantly better. Probably the best it has been since you entered the Forgotten Sea. It's still choppy, it's still wavy, like the wind is still strong, but there's no chance of like capsizing. You could probably, just drift about without too much trouble.
Does it get better the closer we come to the Lost City of Sirens?
Nice.
It does appear so, yes.
Alright. Maybe it has some kind of storm calming ability, which Sidon would not like either, so... Oofa doofa, there's Axel.
People don't like dragons.
Mhm.
I suppose we order the ships to just like circle the area, basically. Usually the best
Yeah.
way when you're at sea to just drift away. And try to get some shifts in. People might get a little bit of sleep now that the boats are not vertical, then flat, then vertical.
Yeah.
Hammocks can only do so much. And then I suppose we fly to meet oversea.
Just have a meeting with dragons circling.
I mean, we can go to your ship and have the meeting. Like,
well, we should go to Ariat. That's where the druid is.
Mm-hmm.
That is also true.
Druid. I could use my armor, but as it turns out, I like the adamantine one. I would have been punched in the face a couple times without it, so
yeah.
I'd rather have.
At least we don't need it on Xerxia.
Nope,
She's amphibious.
Wait, Argon can. Oh, silver dragons. Let's see here.
Oh,
Can Argon breathe underwater?
Argon cannot. Bronze and green can.
Oh,
And black.
yes.
Pterodactyl will probably have the worst time of all the dragons because fire doesn't really.
You know.
And that's
Doesn't
why we
really
use the
work.
fire breath in this fight.
It's a short rest thing, right?
Yeah, she's probably panicking. I'm like trying to relax her. Okay, it'll be okay. Worst comes to worst, we can teleport out. Just go back home. Be brave heroes.
Thomas has packed his other armor. Worst comes to worst, he'll have to switch.
It takes like an hour, dude. Mechanically. Full plate.
Of course, while wearing full plate, he has a backpack on with another set of full plate in there.
He's, that's fine. Bag of holding, right?
Alright, well. I suppose we should go in. With the help of the druid, of course. Sheep, how many people could the casting be on?
10 per cast.
10.
She could do 3.
Okay.
You know what? I am gonna change the armor. It's a difference of NAC, but I believe it also gives me a swim speed.
Oh, that's true. Didn't we have we had like a mariner's like chain shirt or something as well? Or am I
gave
just
that to
making that up?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Bullbug
right.
has that one.
Bullbug is swimming
Bulldog. Did
competition
Bulldog want to
champion.
come? Oh no, I feel bad. I forgot about him.
Well,
Didn't ask him.
he's in the, you know, I don't think he would like it. He's doing great in the arena.
Yeah, fair.
Well, I want to bring Aegis, but also a shotgun is not going to be terribly useful to him.
Well, we won't bring it for combat reasons.
Yeah, I figure, you know what? He's like a weird scholar adventurer thing. He should be there.
Yeah, maybe we should get a couple sirens.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna need a druid at least.
Let's check this out first, and then we can come up and get archaeologists when it's safe. The druid can hold concentration from the boat.
You're right.
I don't even think water breathing is concentration. But yeah,
It's not.
Good.
Oh,
So
great. All
he
right,
doesn't
we'll
suddenly
swim
fall
in.
asleep and then, you know, he'll choke and die.
yeah, it might be a case of just do it on us, and then like a couple of other people on the boat, because might as well, just in case something happens.
Yeah,
There might. Do we want to?
might leave Arkin.
You gonna leave Arkin?
Well, look, I don't know. Right now the weather's nice here. I want someone to be here in case they get attacked while I'm not here.
In that case, it should be Dareth Axel. She's the least equipped for underwater combat.
Well, but there's also 3 ships.
I know, but I'm just saying, if the logic is that we should have a dragon here, let's bring Argon and leave Dareth Axel.
Would Arkin like to go? I guess it is sort of a big thing they have researched together, actually.
Generally, Argon is hesitant about, endangering herself. This, however, is one of those cases where her own scholarly interest sort of outweighs her perceived risk here. She would be up for it, but not too keen on it. Like she can swing either way here.
Would she feel better being up here on guard? You know.
Probably.
All right. No, I we'll tell her. You know that she'll be right back. Mom will be right back. I mean, we'll be right back. And you hold down the ship. And you know. See if I can find anything interesting.
Okay, Dareth Axel's gone.
We still have alacrity, by the way. Is that just like a passive?
Yep. Yeah, it lasts for 8 hours.
Didn't know if it was the
No,
next time you roll initiative.
All right, but this will be the spot where we stop today's session. Continue next time.
Food lost.
Fair enough. I'll take a good session.
Some
thank you.
Experience. You get, let's call it 3,800 each.
Okay.
1,800.
So... 167. Oh no, hang on. That's just the 800 and then
170.
174.25.
So remind me, what level are your characters?
15.
Yeah, because I see Demo still being level 14.
What?
On your token.
Yeah.
I'm gonna zoom out and hunt some, see if If we've taken care of all the Ariads strays out there.
I mean, I can tell
Yeah,
you
we seem
that
good.
you are the only Ariat. There are 2 Argans, but
Well,
delete
you know,
them.
she has a big personality, I feel like. So, she can carry it, you know?
You know, Search is going on this expedition because one, she's aquatic, sort of
No, she's the expert,
can deal with it,
basically.
and also she does like the idea of fabulous treasure. You know,
Getting your first look.
like she's heroic and all, but you know, she likes to hide it beneath the veneer of selfishness and sarcastic greed.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, strength checks.
I just say I enjoyed today's sessions. There were a few things that were like the culmination of things you've set in motion earlier, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah. Me too.
Maybe not the culmination, but the sign that they're happening.
Yeah. And now we're gonna get this thing. Big deal. It's gonna be super magic spear. I hear +6 item.
Oh Jesus!
Fight with it. Yeah. And
Who
that's the
told
number
you that?
of weapon damage dice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
And
can
it's a
sort of-
spear, you know, I don't know.
The
Seems,
spear
yeah,
of
makes sense.
disintegration. When you stab someone, disintegration spell. So, we'll see if it's just decorative.
I actually considered taking disintegration.
Fine spell for just dealing a bucket of damage or something.
Well, I mean, you only damage on a say like on the miss for them though. Like
Yeah.
no half damage. You know, my spell DC is 18. Like for like big things, that's.
I suppose the spell is not for dealing with the big boss guy. It's with like one of his goons that is being the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, I sort of looked at it and I was like, yeah, that would be like the equivalent of like, no, go the fuck away now. Like, you, I don't have to deal with you, and I won't have to do it again after this, like sort of thing.
Non-concentration banishment.
Yeah, well, forever, you know.
Yeah.
If you kill them, at least.
Yeah, have fun. 3 ships. It's gonna make this combat, I think, more interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It's also just a cool like visage.
We've grown. Now we have 3 boats instead of 1.
Yeah, that's right. We've grown up.
And they can carry more treasure.
Oh, right.
You know,
Let's not plunder the lost city of my people, man.
Well, they don't need gold coins, right? Or silver, or gems.
Yeah, you know, the heritage of my people that they would like to reclaim.
Items.
I figure that most cultural things will go to the sirens, you know, so they can reclaim a.
What am I gonna do with it? Inflation would be a problem. You just bring back like 3 ships.
Oh, it's alright. You can just let the elves throw more in the water.
We're in the Mitros. What are we gonna do with it? It's a legitimate question. You know, I can't. Like, people gotta get paid, but at some point.
Huh? Yeah.
If it's not there, I can't buy it from anyone. Because it's not there. Where else could I go to buy it? Eresia? No. Not really any city comparable.
It's really not.
Maybe the Sirens will get one eventually.
You know. I hope you're going into Atlantis.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I have to go to bed very soon. Overall for the campaign, I feel like we are nearing the end for sure. I think we have more than 5 sessions, but maybe less than 10 left to go.
Oh, wow.
Really? Wow.
Maybe less than 15, let's put it that way. Maybe more than 10, less than 15, something around there.
I mean, with about 3 sessions per level, that would make sense.
And it'll probably still take us like a year.
At this rate, yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, let's estimate 15 sessions. Say, well, that's twice a month, right? That's 7-ish months.
Yes.
Twice a month on a good day.
There's plenty to.
Well, thank you for the session. It was great.
Yeah.
As
This
always.
campaign has been something special, just in general. So thank you for all the work you do.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Mhm.
Does make me want to run it.
What?
It does make me want
Makes
to run
you-
it in the future.
Okay.
Yeah,
It has
I
beautiful
have
art.
intentions
A lot
to.
of cool things in it.
Well, the replay value is just, it has something that most campaigns don't, in that it is fairly, it's got a concise, like, border to the sandbox, but within those borders, it is very sandboxy. And the epic paths having, like, basically half of the, like, personal quests were blocked off to us by virtue of not having 8 players. And it's like, there's so much, like, still going on that would be interesting to explore and, like, see how other people handle this stuff.
Well, they're making the like Norse Viking one, so
Hmm.
it's like there is gonna be
True.
more of it.
Yeah, I saw something on their Kickstarter. I think there's like an optional crossover bit
Where you both go
between
to
the two.
Australia together. Lockwood. Why not?
There's still so many antagonists left to take care of. Although, yeah, this like late stage of the game, once you start that, it does feel like bad guys kind of go down like dominoes in the
Just
last
gotta-
like 5
just gotta-
sessions of a campaign.
Eat.
Kill this guy, then take care of this guy, then this one.
Just gotta keep Mitchell safe. That's the mission. That's the goal. Right? Make sure that doesn't get trashed like we saw in the mission. Prove that fate is not final. Oh. Yeah. If we can do it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about what I did to the campaign once we finish it, and I can stop hiding things.
Mm-hmm. That big
Mhm.
session 0 or session, I guess final, not 0, the opposite.
Yeah.
About to say like 0 flipped upside down, but that's still just 0. So it's not really
Session negative
but,
one.
-0.
Oh yes, there's not nothing now.
The dawn of the new day session.
But
You beat the game.
epilogue.
Now the screen's white instead of black.
Yeah, I mean that said, I also look forward to not being there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we lost the Arisha chapter.
It's
Yeah, the whole thing cut out. Yeah.
Like a couple levels there that we
I
won't get.
assume.
All that XP.
Yeah, but if it means we get Haldimir back for our final battles, then absolutely be worth it.
Still use
yeah,
that
it's
XP too.
plausible. I'll talk to him, see if he has time.
Oh, we don't know when it's gonna be, right?
Yeah, I don't know when it's gonna be.
I mean, by the sound of it, in 7 months. So, you know.
In a little while. Although I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay. We go to the City of the Sirens. The Council of Titans looks at, oh, you're early. Roll initiative. There you go.
Even worse, you're late, as they sit with the spear and everything else. Oh,
How
great.
dare you make me wait?
We got a boss rush.
The insult. The
It's like the thing in a game where it's like, oh, you beat all the bosses. Oh, now we make you beat them all together. They're all resurrected.
oh
And
yeah.
you're like, ah,
If-
fuck.
if
How's
I-
that called?
If this
Boss
was,
rush.
if this was more scripted, though, I mean, we go find this place within time or something. We get stuck in a time loop because it is outside of time. We manage to escape it, but we are now at the beginning of time.
Or we're at the point
say,
that we
"Oh,
saw
no.
in the telescope where Mitros is destroyed.
How do we solve the problems of the distant future? We build big cube things like the one that houses the Kraken and put ourselves inside of it. And then we
We're the
await
final boss.
for the centaurs to open them. And then we step out and they I don't even know what they do. We have returned.
For the ultimate dick move.
Yeah. We were there the whole time waiting.
Make you wait for... How many big bads we gotta take care of? We got the Kraken, we got Hades.
Big Red Dragon, maybe? Ashen Skies? Sounds like Big Red Dragon.
Lutheria.
The whole thing about resurrecting old big bats is so far-fetched. It's not like you pissed off the god of the underworld or something.
And the way the campaign is written, though, what I really like about it is that the lore supports the need to beef up their stat block. Like, we're much more powerful than we were when we faced Lutheria, and we may even get another level before that. But, for her to come back post the 5 having returned their stolen power, then it makes sense that like the encounter scales appropriately, and the immersion is fully intact.
Yeah, but whatever these centaurs awaken is gonna be terrible, right?
And she's a god of death.
We gotta fight it. If we lose, the whole plane's dead. If we win, we find it proven that was a bad idea, and that we have.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they're gonna summon that first red dragon, whatever. Sounds like Ashen Sky.
I think maybe they're just gonna do whatever they can to free as many monsters as possible. I mean, why limit themselves, right? And the Kraken is involved somehow too. I don't know what he's doing, but you don't go in and break the books about magical monsters if you don't intend to. It's a very specific, targeted action,
Yeah, I suppose why make us fight one giant Kraken thing when you could stick like a whole bunch of them at the same time.
Like, we know of a couple. Kraken, big monster, whatever the thing that killed that big Cerberus in the Mithril Mine was, that came up with a massive hole from the Underdark. I don't forget that.
Yeah, but that would imply that it's already free.
That's true.
And the only one that was...
We know there's giant tunnels under this whole place.
Yeah.
What made him?
Kraken can move on land as well.
I don't think the Kraken did it. It looked like someone ate the big Cerberus.
No, those things were flooded, so it's not like it can move through it, like under Thylia.
I'm saying there's big baddies out there that we need to get.
A lot of things.
And hey, what does it do to actually become a god in the game? Is that just what level 17 looks like, or I don't know.
Well, there's a spell in the new spells section. Yeah, or something like that. Can't remember.
In what?
In the player's guide, there's a 9th level spell that's like it.
Be a god?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
Well, we probably will need someone who can cast it. To use the items.
Exactly. And none of us can. Yeah.
All the items allow you to cast it. Like the Crown of the Dragonlord allowing you to do the Dragonlord spells.
Dirge and Bond, yeah.
At the end we look at each other, we can't become gods because we don't have the spell. And the philosophers from the beginning come out and say, well, well, well. You only listened and brought one of us. Could have done it.
Or you're just like, what? What are you talking about?
Hard that we ascend through that.
They're like,
Yeah,
what is
really.
more important, knowledge or like physical strength? And or it's like knowledge. It's like, oh wait, that's not what we chose.
It really wasn't. It was much younger back then. Ah.
Yeah, where is it? Yeah, page.
Right,
Yeah,
I'm going to head off.
Oh. What the? It just
What?
straight up tells you about the 3 divine artifacts in the player's guide.
It does.
Oh my god.
A lot of
They're right there the
information
whole
about
time.
On which page is this? I knew that it did.
Yeah.
But
Page 55, Theogenesis, 9th level conjuration, casting time 1 hour, range touch. All components, including offerings worth at least 10,000 GP, which are consumed, and all 3 divine artifacts, the Cocytus, the Ambrosia, and the Promethean Fire.
Mm-hmm. All right, well.
Choose a single target, non-divine creature for the spell. Yeah.
We need
yeah,
10,000
I knew that it was in there. I found it silly that it just straight up tells you.
About the...
But
yeah. I think I remember reading that when we were first creating and being like, those things sound cool, and then completely forgetting because it's a 9th level spell and I plan on or I wasn't going to be a cleric at the time, so it was like, eh.
Yeah, don't worry about the details of the spell, by the way, like having to get approval from some greater god, which would be outside of the Phylian pantheon,
Yeah,
which is completely bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's pretty irrelevant what that spell does, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, and none of us are going to get it anyway, so... Oh, unless there's a scroll of Theogenesis that I can
neither was that Minotaur,
copy down.
right?
Yeah, true.
Certainly wasn't like an 18th.
Although I don't think he was after being a god, he just wanted to...
No,
oh
I mean,
man,
what great volume.
when we get to the big battles there, I'm going to enjoy drinking from that.
And what's in the Astral Sea? We haven't even gotten there yet, but there was a portal to there.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna go there and see what, like, who's hanging out there.
I get a very like Tolkien-esque vibe from this book in like, oh, look at this cool thing. Too bad you can't go check it out because Oath of Peace talks clock sticking. But there's a cool thing over there that just exists.
All right, well, this recording, I suppose, is what I'll be uploading. Is it disconnected a little bit? Don't want to export 2 files. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So with that, we will see you next time. Have a good day.
Thanks for watching.
Night.
Good night.